Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, everyone, to GeekSpaceTV presents Cthulhu Confidential. It is lovely to see you, all of your shining and happy faces in the chat room, doing your thing, being ready for a lovely evening of relaxation and perhaps murder. I mean, we don't know.
Maybe a little bit.
Maybe a little bit of both. Thank you for joining us. This is GeekSpaceTV. GeekSpaceTV is a non-profit streaming studio based out of Seattle, Washington, that is dedicated to diversity and representation in geek and gaming spaces. And we are doing Pelgrane Press's Cthulhu Confidential, which is a 1GM, 1-player RPG that merges noir and Lovecraftian horror. And I'm very excited for tonight's conclusion. This will be our last episode, and we will find out our mystery come heck or high water. Maybe the high water rising, and then Cthulhu comes out, and then it's bad. I mean, I don't know. We'll find out. This is a happening. Before we start, I do want to let you all know about what we have coming up next week. Next week, we have on Monday, the season premiere of the final season of Eat, Pray, Kill, which is a Kill 6 Billion Demons RPG, which is about a bunch of demons in this floating interdimensional city, and they have to kill a king. It's pretty exciting, and that will be 7 p.m. Pacific PST on Monday. Join us. It'll be really exciting. And that's
so excited for that.
It's GM'd by Sour Fruit Junkie, who is amazing. Tuesday, we have, at 7 p.m., we have To the Point, a Manner of Speaking RPG, which is this great RPG where all of the players are sort of Scarlet Pimpernel, swashbuckling, proper ladies and gentlemen.
Jane Austen, but with swords.
Jane Austen with swords, and maybe a little thieving. Yeah, a little piratey. Who doesn't want a piratey Jane Austen in their life? I think everyone does, really. And Wednesday is the penultimate episode of High School Royale, which is GM'd by Jackie Dash, Jakidash.
Ding! I don't have her bell around. Sorry.
And that is an OVA anime game about four or 5 high school-ish students trying to stop the destruction of all time and space.
It's pretty good. Pretty basic storytelling.
Pretty basic. I mean, and yeah. And this is the only one that is a horror one. This one tonight.
This one that we're doing is not the other one is hashtag not a horror.
Not a horror. So that is. I also want to say, if you want to support us, which is much. Oh, I know what I wanted to tell you. Guess what?
What?
We succeeded in our Seed and Spark campaign.
We did.
To help fund Season 2, which is what we're moving into right now. That was amazing. Everybody who supported, everybody who donated, everybody who boosted the signal, thank you so much. We made the whole thing, and we made our first stretch goal, which is a game of Night Witches, all about Soviet-era World War II Soviet airwomen who used their World War I biplanes to drop bombs on Nazis. And it's this really cool game by Jason Morningstar and Bully Pulpit Press. And I'm really excited. I'll be jamming it, and we're going to have an amazing cast, and that will be starting up sometime. So thank you for that. So if you want to support us, now that the Seed and Spark is over, there are a lot of things you can do. You can donate. There's a donate button probably somewhere there, and you can donate to help pay for our weekly goals. You can also give bits if you like. You can subscribe. You can also join our Patreon if you like. Besides Patreon, subscriptions, bits, and donations, you can also just be here. Being here in chat, participating, watching the things we do is something that we really appreciate, and that's what we do it for. We do it for you. So come and be here. Also, you can tell your friends. You can host us. You can tweet about us. There's a share button, which is, I think, way over there. And when I say share, I do not mean the amazing singer. Share. Maybe I do mean share. I don't know.
I think you do mean share in this one instance. You do mean share. Like, share, and subscribe.
Yes, like, share, and subscribe. So that, I think, are all of our announcements. So we may begin the conclusion of the Fathomless Sleep. And I'm so happy and blessed and joyous to have as our solo player for this adventure the amazing Drunkly Romantic. Drunkly, tell us who you are, what you do, and where you can be found.
Hi, my name is Drunkly Romantic. I am a streamer. I play video games. Tomorrow night at 7 p.m. I'll be playing either Monster Prom or Spider-Man, two very different games. We'll find out. But I stream at Drunkly Romantic. I also am in High School Royale and Eat, Pray, Kill, and in this show. And I work at GeekSpace a lot. I am their full-time employee now. I'm very excited to be here. And I am also very excited to share this story and this game with the very lovely Trooper.
What? Hello! I'm Trooper SJP, and I am a streamer and a gamer and a musician and a professor. And you can find me at Trooper SJP here on Twitch and Academic Foxhole on Twitter. And I stream on my channel video games with lots of story, and that's what we do. That's what we do. So, that said, why don't we start the Fathomless Sleep? So when last we left our hero was leaving the lab of Betty Noguchi, a dear friend of his, who he had gone to show her a jar of moonshine that has strange properties. Our Dex is on the case. He was approached by Margaret Deacon, a real estate developer whose sister had gone missing and then returned in a night slip in the middle of downtown Los Angeles covered in blood. He's been on the trail trying to figure out what happened to the sister, Helen Deacon. His journey has taken him to organized crime factions and to all of Hollywood. He has learned a number of things in the course of his investigations. He's learned that Helen Deacon, the young woman whose mind has been gone, was into some sort of New Age religious group, the Order of the Argent Light, and that led by Clara Nabel, pardon me. Clara Nabel. He's also learned that she was dating gangster, Whitey Alexander, who runs this illegal casino. Dex also learned that she was also dating Marshall Daly, handsome screenwriter and also secret communist, who has been followed by a creepy Nazi who Dex punched and just a little bit and destroyed.
I also skilleted, I think. Cast iron skilleted his knee off or something. I don't know.
Yeah, there was a cast iron skillet. There was a little bit of a punch up, a little bit of a punch him up. And Dex was able to get this fellow to stop blackmailing Greta Odomara, a German star, but also learned by questioning him that it seems that our Helen Deacon was not only seeing Whitey Alexander and also Marshall Daly, but was seen in the company of Phil Block, Whitey Alexander's shifty accountant. So that's a little bit mysterious. And she also had this moonshine, which Dex took to this lab to get analyzed, and it turns out the moonshine has mildly hallucinogenic qualities, and
I shouldn't have drank it then, is what you're saying, huh?
Maybe you should have not drunk all of it, but hey, you do you. You make choices. And that moonshine was probably made somewhere in the Mojave in some kind of industrial space of some sort, based on the analysis. He's now leaving this lab with 4 sets of fingerprints on him, walking out in the late afternoon in Los Angeles. And I ask you, what is on your mind as you step out of this lab after talking to Betty?
What time of day is it?
It's like 2 or 3.
2 or 3?
Mm-hmm.
The sun is painfully bright. I'm thinking about Betty. Thinking about I hope that life takes you the right ways. My head hurts. My knees hurt. My ankles hurt. My pockets hurt. I feel like I gotta get to the end of this. Is there a payphone?
There is.
Dex reaches into his pocket, pulls out his pills. The bottle's empty. Brief moment of panic. Puts it back in the pocket. Goes to the phone booth, dials a number, dials Ricky Vargas, the LAPD detective sergeant.
The phone rings a little bit, and then you hear, Detective Sergeant Vargas, how may I help you?
Ricky, it's Dex.
Oh, hey, Dex. How are you doing? Oh, are you all right?
I'm fine. Just punched a Nazi recently, so my throat's a little, I got some fingerprints. I need you to take a look at. Can I come down to the precinct?
Oh, you're going to need to spend a cop talk push on this one.
Okay. Let's do it.
All right. He says, that's using police resources. I don't know, but okay. I just don't think you should show up at the precinct. They don't like you. Why don't we meet around the corner? There's a small diner. We can meet there, and you can give them to me, and I can run them for you.
Ricky. Sorry. This is urgent. Dex lets the phone sit on his ear, and he presses his head against the glass just to feel the cool, followed by the sun radiating heat on him. And what's the name of the diner?
This one is called the Greasy Spoon. It's really small.
Okay. I'll meet you there in 20 minutes.
Yeah, that'll be fine.
Dex is his head is now throbbing, and you could feel it in the way he talks. Like, he immediately hangs up the phone with Ricky. No jokes, nothing. Just clicks the phone, opens up the phone book, looks up where the Greasy Spoon is.
And there are people walking down the street. They don't even really notice you at the phone booth, just going about their day in a hot, early autumn Los Angeles day.
Dex pulls out literally just a page from the phone book. And just looks at his own blood. Quickly cleans up. Looks at the empty pill bottle in his hand. Grabs the keys to the car. Greta, is it Odeman? Odemar. Greta Odemar's car. Hops in and starts driving to the Greasy Spoon.
You wonder, is that the moonshine that did that to you, or is it just all of the years of your life catching up to you? And you make your way through traffic, and you head down to the Greasy Spoon, which is one of these sort of really narrow diners. You walk in, and it's just got, a bar on one side, and, really small, narrow booths that you can only really fit one person on each side and the other. It doesn't have a lot of space. And as you walk in, you see Ricky at the far end of the diner. And in front of him, there are two plates of food. There's one in front of him, and there's one in the empty spot where presumably you would be. And there's both toast and French toast on this plate, as well as 4 eggs and some sausage, 3 of them, 2 of which are turkey sausage. Everything that you'd ordered and didn't exactly get right at Johnny's the day before is sitting right there.
Does Ricky see me yet?
No, not yet.
Dex kind of sees this as he walks in. Straightens up his tie. There's a little bit of blood he can't get off of his collar, but he's wiping away at it with a rag that he found on one of the tables, one of the bus rags. Takes a deep breath. Walks over to Ricky. Walks over to the table. Knocks on the table.
Oh!
You didn't get anything for yourself?
I thought I'd have a nice light lunch, but I know how you are. You never eat enough. So I thought I'd get you some breakfast.
Ricky.
Well, I mean, I hope it's actually lunch.
It's I actually did already eat, but I will not turn down a meal. Especially with a fine, upstanding officer like yourself. Thank you for meeting me.
My wife says hi.
Make sure you tell her hi for me when you see her.
And she invites you for dinner Saturday night if you're available.
I don't plan that far ahead. You know that, Ricky.
I know, but
how was the birthday party?
It was pretty good. I got a really ugly tie from my kids. They apparently picked it out themselves.
That's why I never had kids. One of many reasons, but that's the big one. They have terrible fashion sense.
They do, but I'm going to wear it anyway, you know. Are you okay, Dex?
Yeah, just been a little more physical exertion than I'm used to lately.
Yeah.
A little less sleep than I'm used to as well.
You know, you should maybe get like a younger partner who can take care of all the physical stuff for you one of these days.
How many times do I have to offer you a job before you take it? You can't rub that in my face. You know I've been offering you this forever.
Well, I'm just saying you should think about it. You should
Okay.
Find
That's
somebody.
Also something I'm not good at doing, by the way.
Yeah. So you said you had fingerprints.
Yes. Dex, from his back pocket, pulls out I would assume it was some kind of plastic, like some kind of bag.
Yeah.
Slides it over the table, puts it under a newspaper, actually, and slides it across the table.
And Ricky picks up the newspaper and puts it in a bag he has. He says, I'm going to have to find a moment where I can slip it in. I know some people at Forensics who can check the databases. It might take me a little bit of time to get it for you, but I assume if you're asking, it's because it's important.
Yeah. This actually might be the clue I need to break this thing. So, I'd appreciate it if you can get it as quickly as possible. I understand that I am no longer welcome at this precinct for various things that I did in and about the precinct.
Yeah.
Certain toes that I stepped on, certain bridges that I stepped on and then burned. I also burned a few toes. That was a prank. That went wrong. Does Davis know that I'm sorry about that?
Davis doesn't believe that you're sorry about it because you did it 3 times.
Yeah, Davis has always had a good head in his shoulders because I'm really not sorry about it. He was a dick.
That's true. He is. Also, the captain doesn't want to see you.
Well, I don't want to see the captain.
Well, he does want to see you, but I don't think you want to see the captain.
Okay. What is he gonna do? Be happy?
Look, that Thanksgiving incident was a little bit much.
Yeah,
Hey, no, seriously though, you should maybe get some sleep.
It's fine. Ricky, I'm sorry. We're rehearsing a play.
And people in the diner are looking at you a little bit. And they see you with this police officer, so they feel like it might be okay. But
there is, I want to point out, too, that there is also a little bit of blood on the collar of his shirt, whether it's his, whether it's from the Nazi, I don't know. Dex has not changed his clothes.
And you also slept in a bathtub, so they look really good, those clothes. Yeah. And Ricky just has this look of deep concern as he looks at you. Dex, I tell you to be careful, but I will just say this. My daughter has a birthday coming up in 2 months, and you are invited, and I want to see you there. You are her godfather.
I'll be there. Tell her I'll be there.
Okay. Just make sure that you do.
Actually, take it back. Tell her I won't be there. I want it to be a surprise. What is she like? What can I keep getting coloring books and colored pencils. But like that's what would she like?
Well,
Preferably moderately cheap.
right now she's reading a lot. She's reading lots of mysteries.
She's reading mysteries.
Yeah?
Taken after her godfather, huh?
Yeah. So, maybe some of those? But nothing too, you know.
There is a... listen. Ricky. If anything, God forbid, if anything happens, under my bed in the hotel, you can get the key from Dinah, or possibly my corpse from the morgue. Under my bed, there is a book of fine mystery novels. There's also a couple other books that you definitely should not give to your daughter. You should definitely keep away from your wife, and you should absolutely burn.
Right.
But the rest of it is, and I promise you, it's all tasteful. All of it's tasteful. It's just my kind of tasteful.
Yeah. I'll take care of it, but I expect to see you at that party.
Oh, I wouldn't want to disappoint. Ricky, you're a good man. You put up with a lot, and you do the right thing when it's not easy.
Yeah. Oh, I should tell you something that I thought that you might be interested in. I heard some rumors around the precinct.
Yeah.
Do you know Burl Treehorn?
Yeah, I know the name.
He works for Whitey Alexander.
Yeah. Big guy.
Yeah, big guy. Word has it he's gone missing.
Burl, that's Whitey's security.
Yeah.
Basically. That's not a good sign.
No. And so there's a bit of a buzz about it amongst the people who are connected that Whitey's looking for Burl pretty heavy. He doesn't know where he is. He's gone missing. So I don't know if you have anything to do with that, but I know that you...
Last time I saw Burl, they were pulling people away from an explosion.
Yeah, I just thought that maybe you might want to know that.
Thank you. I'll make a note of it. Dex is actually not eating any of the food. It's the furthest thing from his mind. He hasn't even looked at it since he walked in. Burl. And Dex is just sitting there, rifling through papers and essentially ignoring everything around him.
And Ricky stands up, looks at you a bit, and he says, I have to go, but I will work on these as soon as possible. Just eat something, will you? And he walks away, giving a glance, and he puts $1 on the table to make sure that the food is paid for. And then he leaves with you in this diner with all of your papers and a full plate of food.
Dex sits there, leans back, and the only thing he touches on this whole table is the coffee. He drinks scalding hot. It's smoking. It's steaming. It is very hot coffee, and he's drinking it as if it's nothing.
And you can smell the grease out of the kitchen. It's like greasy eggs and lard, and it's just like the smell of food is everywhere, and Maybe for some people that smell of food would be comforting and warm, but right now it just doesn't feel great.
Dex is feeling the weight of his body sink into this stall and this chair. It's just wood with a little bit of a cushion. Feels the weight of it, feels the nausea. His head is spinning.
And right when he's about to fall asleep, perhaps, there's a rap on the table. And there's a waitress there. And she's looking at you and she says, "Aren't you going to eat?"
It's delightful. It's good food. What's your name?
Mary.
Mary. Where you from?
Me? Altadena. Why?
Altadena. Wow.
Yeah.
How you doing today?
I'm okay, sir. And she looks at the dollar. She looks at you. Can I get you anything else?
No. You could just go have yourself a good day. Dex is scribbling out the notes he was just instinctually taking.
Do you want me to... And she cleans up the other dish, Ricky's.
Yeah.
And then she just kind of looks at you and your scar, and then she walks off, leaving you with that full plate of food.
Dex gets up and kind of grabs some napkins and wraps some bacon and some of the sausage in there and some eggs and just kind of carries it outside. Wants to light up a cigarette, but he's got this oily meat in his hands wrapped in a napkin. Walks around to the back alley of the diner, the Greasy Spoon, and is just kind of setting little pieces of food around, scraps for any dogs or cats that might want to snack on something in the meantime. A little bit further away from the dumpster where the people come out and scare them off. Just kind of goes out and sits there. There's a chain link fence, I'm assuming, kind of off to the side, and is just setting it out like in a very almost in a precision way. Like the bacon is in a line, the strips are in a line, the sausage is in a line, and he's just kind of laying it out as if he's taking stock of what he has. And he just sits there.
And you know, at this moment in your apartment, Marshall Daly's probably sitting and maybe typing, waiting for you to sort of figure out what to do to make it so that he won't be murdered by the mob. You know that Helen Deacon is probably in her mansion in Bel Air, insensate. Who knows what state she's in. Margaret's probably there, worried about her sister. Roscoe, who knows where he is, maybe somewhere drinking or gambling.
Dex. Dex is actually shaking himself into awareness now, and gets in his car.
You mean Greta Odemar's fancy yellow sports car?
Yellow sports car.
Yeah. Not your car.
No, definitely not my car. My car is the color of vomit, basically.
Yes.
Dex gets in his car and just drives.
You know, driving in Los Angeles, sort of in the late afternoon, can be beautiful. You've got palm trees lining this broad streets, the Pacific Ocean out, and the sun setting. People of all stripes. It's a real, a beautiful city that's bustling and alive, but it's not sort of built up so you can't see anything. It's sort of flat and horizontal rather than vertical. So there's just all these kind of cool bodegas and shops and people everywhere. It's a place where people come to live dreams.
Dex goes up on the curb a little bit, just startles himself back to awareness, slams on the brakes, kind of on the curb still, hops out of the car, throws his tie over his shoulder, and just vomits into a trash can. Okay. I'm back. Now, Dex gets in the car and drives home.
Drive home to the Tavern, your lovely residential hotel, not very expensive, and
Very normal to live in.
Very normal to live in. Nobody's in the alley.
Good.
No one's there. You walk in. Dinah waves at you as you come in. She goes, Mr. Raymond.
I scratch the cat's chin.
And the cat purrs at you and leans into the scratching.
Give it a little piece of turkey sausage just that I had on me.
You have a lot of things in your pockets.
Yeah.
It's fine. You'll go to a dry cleaner, I assume, at some point in time. There's still one little pigs in a blanket there. And
I was looking. Oh, I do have the pigs in a blanket
from the night before.
Yeah, from the party, from Max's party.
The cat, the tabby cat just goes and eats it up, and you head upstairs. And as you make up the landing and you're walking towards your apartment, you can hear the sound of typewriter typing in your apartment. And of course, the sounds of typewriting is not strange for this apartment building in general, as there are numerous wannabe screenwriters and artists of various sorts in this place. It's a place where you have a mix of the bohemian and the rundown. And you make it to your apartment. And when you walk in, there's Davy Boy in the corner, your favorite largest cockroach. And and at the small, it's not a desk, it's that kind of square kitchen table.
Yeah.
Is Marshall Daly sort of typing away. And you can see there's already sort of like crumpled up paper here and there amidst all the rest of your disorganization, because as we know, your apartment is not excessively neat.
My apartment is exactly what it needs to be. I want to stress that.
That is fair.
Is exactly what it needs to be.
And there's Marshall. And he looks up and he sees you and he goes, "Oh, Mr. Raymond, am I in the clear?"
Did you know you had a Nazi following you?
What?
There was a Nazi following you.
No, I didn't know that at all. That's what's following me?
Take pictures and get evidence of you because they want to out you as a communist.
Oh.
Dex pulls out the bag with the camera from out of... Got the evidence. Just throws it off to the side.
Thank you.
You're welcome. But I thought I'd lead with the good news because the bad news is I'm not sure if you still have a hit on you or not. It's a little complicated. I'm going to phone a friend. But I think that they're a little more... I think they have some things to worry about. Look, listen, I was doing a lot of thinking. I think you should stay here for a little bit longer. You seem to be productive. Davy Boy loves you.
Okay.
It's not that dank.
No, I mean, it has character.
Yeah. Character, like what you're writing, right?
Yeah, I have an idea about sort of like a rich guy, maybe sort of like a country club type who gets amnesia and wakes up on the streets, and maybe I could get like a big star to do it, and he goes through like some sort of transformational process, and he becomes a better person at the end, and
then like fiction, yeah.
And he comes back to his family, and I don't know. I feel like the audience will eat it up, and it could be interesting.
What happens though?
Well, I'm thinking about how I'm thinking it could sort of be like a Dickens sort of a Christmas Carol, where we learn sympathy towards the working man, and he learns that he has to basically stop being an asshole.
Oh. I don't know if it's going to work. But, hey, my tastes are not for everyone.
No, I'll work it out. I'll work it out.
Please, if you need someone to proofread, I love a good mystery.
Thanks. So, what do you need me to do?
I think at the moment, I need you to stay here. Actually, Dex walks over to his phone and dials Margaret's number.
There's a
Margaret Deacon.
little bit of a pause, and then you hear, Deacon residence, how may I help you?
Looking for Margaret Deacon, please.
Who may I say is calling?
That's a good question. I cover the mouthpiece and I look at Daily Marshall, and I'm like, I usually figure out what to say.
And then Marshall starts typing.
Yes, this is Dexter Raymond.
One moment. And then you can hear the phone being put down on the probably a table, like a little, the kind of little telephone tables.
Yeah.
And then after a few minutes, you hear, "Hello, Mr. Raymond. Is there any news?"
A little bit of news.
Oh, I'm glad to hear it.
So, it turns out your sister. Well, I have Marshall Daly here with me.
Oh, yes, him. Did he do it?
No, I don't believe so.
Oh.
He is under my protection at the moment because Whitey Alexander may or may not be after them because they were both dating your sister Helen.
Oh my.
Some interesting things happened though. Found a lot of ties to things that your sister maybe knew about and maybe didn't. Specifically, Dex is just sluggish. He's not like the thoughts are not coming to him. He starts pulling out his notepad again and his papers and is just kind of flipping through them.
And Marshall pushes a cup towards you, and it's his cup of coffee that he made from your coffee in your house. But it seems like maybe you need it, so he just pushes the cup of coffee towards you. And Margaret's on the phone. She goes, Mr. Raymond?
Margaret, yes, sorry. Feeling a little under the weather at the moment.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
I believe your sister was dating Whitey Alexander to square off your father's gambling debts.
I see.
I don't know if there was anything more there. Whitey seems to be madly in love with her. But, again, I don't know Helen's side.
You will certainly be discreet about this, and, I mean, if anything like this got out, it would be terrible for the business.
You have my word. Just like you have my word, I'm going to find out exactly what happened to your sister. I'm working on a couple leads right now, but I want you to be aware that there is some psychotropic moonshine, Nazis, explosions, gang bosses from New York. There's a lot of stuff involved here, so I'm not going to let anyone know that you hired me. But I want you to be safe. So just be mindful. I'm not trying to scare you. Take care of your sister.
All right. She's still not responsive. She's still not talking.
Would you mind if I try to speak to your sister? I can come by in a couple of hours.
If you think it would help, all right.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your call. Thank you for talking with me. I will see you in about, say, at 5:30.
Sure, but Mr. Raymond, you called me.
That's right. That's right, I did. And Dex just hangs up the phone.
And Marshall Daly's just typing along. He's continuing to type as you have that entire conversation. And he says, "So, I bet she's not going to let you talk to Helen either, are you? Are you Mr. Raymond, are you all right?
Yeah,
Maybe you should go to the hospital?"
would you get some... I am not going to the hospital.
Sorry, I didn't mean to offend you.
No. Would you get some ibuprofen?
Sure. And he...
Could you also brew a pot of coffee for me?
Sure. And he gets up and he sets, the old coffee pot, and he puts the water on the top, and he gets the filter in there, and he sets up the coffee, and then he goes off into you don't have a bathroom, but you have a place, right, a cupboard, and he picks up a bottle of 3/4 empty ibuprofen and aspirin, and he comes out and he brings them to you.
Oh, thank you. Dex just grabs a half-empty beer that's just kind of sitting there and pops the pills.
And Davy Boy the Cockroach moves from one corner to the other corner of your apartment. One-room apartment.
Sorry, Marshall.
It's okay. I hope you're all right.
I've been through worse.
I mean, you're old, so I suppose that's a thing.
Hey, I'm not that old.
What are you, like 65?
Hey. Dex stands up, and he's not. He was sitting down for a minute. He stands up. He's not that tall, but he just kind of puffs out his chest a little bit. Hey.
You're not 65?
Well, I am, but how many 65-year-olds punch Nazis in the street and then break their knees? Huh? Chase them down in a foot race.
I don't know.
How many?
Maybe... and he puts his hand on your shoulder.
Fuck!
Oh, I'm sorry.
Where's Dexter?
You're Dexter Raymond.
Where? You got a light?
Yeah.
Dex is holding an already lit cigarette.
Your cigarette's already lit? And he lights the cigarette. It's already lit, though.
Dex grabs the car keys.
You think you hear some kid laughing in the alley. Young kid, maybe 7 or 8, just sort of laughing in the alley.
Dex slowly walks over to the window.
There's nobody there.
Grabs the keys and goes up the front door. Stay here.
And Marshall's like, the coffee's not ready?
Dex just bolts out the door, doesn't even shut the door, doesn't lock the door. He rounds the corner of the apartment, through the thing, just walks straight past Dinah and the cat, out to the thing, gets to the sidewalk, and thinks he hears the laughter again, and slowly walks around the wall, his hand touching the side of the wall, a little hesitant to peek over.
There's just a small black cat wandering away. But there's no one. There's no small child. But you could have sworn you heard something.
Dex just stares at the cat.
The cat just looks at you for a moment and then continues off and around a corner.
Dex gets in the bright yellow sports car, which is not really parked that well. There are cars honking behind it. It's just into the spot, not in a very. I'm trying to park with my hand, but it's not.
And you're not being very successful at it, as Dex was also not successful at parking with his hands.
And Dex just is like, just sits there like, what was I doing? Where was I going?
And it's just a hot day.
Dex drives to the valley.
Dex drives to the valley. And as you're driving, you're on your way driving, and you're heading up that way, and a car sees you, there's a car that pulls up in front of you to sort of like cut you off. Before, you haven't gone very far, and a car cuts you off. And out come 4 big gangsters.
Okay.
And they walk up to you. And they say, Mr. Raymond, Mr. Alexander wants to see you.
No. Why didn't you say so? Should I follow you guys, or...
You should follow us.
That's it?
You
Not
should.
going to say please?
We don't need to say please.
Well, why does a good friend of mine, he wouldn't like to know that a good friend treated his good friend so poorly?
Looks like he thinks that maybe you're not his good friend. Follow us.
This is the first I'm hearing of this. Dex lights a cigarette, reaches for the pills, remembers this time that they're empty, grabs the steering wheel. Let's go.
And they take off in front, and you notice another car comes in behind.
Friends of yours?
One of them just nods.
Yeah.
As they start driving
waves
back to the Allegria, which is at this point in time in the day closed, but there are a number of cars out there, and there's a lot of security.
Now, I have a question for you.
Yes.
In game. Preparedness, is that something that I could roll before some shit goes down? Or
sure. Like if you want to say like, I think I have some handcuffs on me.
I think Dex does not, even if it's a he might still have the frying pan. I don't know, because this is still that same car.
Oh,
but that's a little less concealable.
Yes.
I don't think Dex does not carry a gun.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think he would be unprepared for this.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it be a pair of handcuffs that he keeps in his back pocket, or a small knife.
You can have a small knife, no problem.
Okay.
No problem.
I assume it's like it's like a paring knife.
Yeah.
That he just kind of has taped to his shoe.
Yes. Yes. And the gentlemen, they would like to lead you.
Do I need to roll for that?
No, that you can have. You might need to roll for something like explosives.
Yeah. I have C4. Dex has C4.
I don't know about the C4. They would like to lead you into Whitey's office in the Allegria.
Could I have a coffee, please? Anyone, coffee. Coffee?
They're like, it's not open yet, but we'll see. We'll see.
Fine.
And they lead you through back into that gaudy office full of heads of animals mounted on the wall and the big bearskin rug. And you see White Alexander, his jacket is off, his sleeves are rolled up, and he doesn't look like he's gotten a lot of sleep, and he's pacing, and he sees you, and he goes, Raymond.
Yes, Mr. Alexander. Welcome in. I mean, hello.
So, I want to know what you did to my man Burl Treehorn, who's missing.
Me?
Yeah.
I have only just heard of Burl's absence this morning.
Oh, so you already knew?
As of this morning, yes. I had heard that you were looking for them. I was following up on a couple of leads, and I was gonna head right back here and tell you. And Dex is he's walking into the office still, and he's gonna sit down, but he's taking extra like extra gingerly on his fake injury on his leg, and he's just kind of really playing up. You can't tell how much is the actual old man setting in and how much is him playing it. He's also playing a little drunker than he wants.
So here's the thing. You come into my office to ask me a bunch of questions, and the next thing I know, I've got an explosion. And the next day, my good friend Burl Treehorn is missing. And you were there, so...
I see. Listen. Sorry, I forgot how great this room is. I see how that could look bad. I get it. I do, Whitey. Mr. Alexander. I can assure you I have nothing to do with this. My hands are clean. I try to keep my chin clean. There's a little bit of blood and you just kind of, you know. I try to keep clean here. I run a legitimate business. I would not go up against you. You think I'm as dumb as those mob jerks from the East Coast?
Then what's that blood? What's that blood on your collar?
Mix of mine, maybe some Nazi.
So, have you seen Burl?
I have not seen Burl. He is a hard to miss. He is a large man. Aptly named.
All right.
I just drink. Dex just picks up a glass of scotch that's just sitting there.
Oh yeah, and
it might be Whitey's.
It's Whitey's, and you can tell when he walked you through the Allegria. There's a lot of muscle there, and everybody's on a bit of a state of alert, and there seem to be a lot of stress in the environment.
Is it more than last time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There were like maybe 8 people last time. There's like 20. There are like 20 goons in this casino today. And everybody's on edge. And there are no customers because the casino's not yet open. And he says, all right, you haven't seen him? If you see him...
I would not lie to you. Listen, something's going on here, and I'm not sure what.
All right.
Do you know anything? Does he have any enemies? Could it have been the mob?
Might have been.
Or did he have any enemies within the syndicate? Oh, sorry.
No. Last thing I had him do a job for me, and he hasn't shown up. And it's not like him.
What kind of job?
Business. My business.
Okay, you're right. I realize you don't ask a legitimate businessman like yourself what business you're into. However, I will ask you, is it a little more dangerous business, or should this have been a cut and dry, simple business transaction?
I just wanted him to follow somebody for me, that's all.
May I inquire as to who they may or may not have been following? Is it someone we both know?
I can't imagine you know this individual.
Oh, I know a lot of people. You should try me.
I just had him follow just a couple of people.
Yeah?
You know, look into maybe what happened last night.
Yeah, that was a hell of a scene. Fireworks before the big show.
You don't know anything about it?
The bomb? No. I actually did see. I want to... Dex is saying no, and then he stops. Really just puts out the cigarette and just looks extra deep in thought. And this is all on the surface.
Yeah. You know something. Raymond, you better tell me.
Okay. 2 things. I found out about Burl from the LAPD. They're looking for him too. And I had a friend with some insight look into the car that sped away.
There was a car?
There was a car. It is from, and Dex is looking through his notes. What's the name of the
H.M. Hillier.
H.M. Hillier. H.M. Hillier. Familiar?
Magazine joint. Distributor?
I believe so. Any connection you can think of. Because I am stumped.
Might be one of the places that guy Bud Barron's hanging out. East Coast guy?
Yeah. Worst. Ugh.
All right. But that means you saw one of their men definitely here.
Yeah, they were speeding away in the car. Got
All
a
right.
picture of the license plate, or wrote down the license plate number, gave it to a friend of mine. Now I'm giving the information to you because I am not hiding anything from you. I want you to know I'm your friend. I'm on your side. I even talked to Helen. Not Helen, sorry. I talked to Margaret.
All right. All right. Thank you for that information. If you see Burl, contact me immediately. He should have been here earlier. A lot
Absolutely
earlier.
will. One more piece of business,
Yeah.
if I may, since I'm here. This whole Helen thing has got me thinking.
Yeah, me too.
The Marshall Daly, and
Oh, don't worry. We're going to take care of Marshall Daly.
here's the thing. Helen didn't love Marshall Daly. Marshall Daly was just a cover. You know how these Hollywood people are. It wasn't a real thing. It was one of the tabloids. It wasn't real. My information was wrong. Dex is starting to get dizzy again. And is there coffee? Do you have
No, tell me about this Marshall Daly.
It's Marshall Daly is a Hollywood screenwriter, and he needed to get his name in the press. So, you know how Roscoe is. Roscoe gave money that he didn't have to the press to start printing things about Helen and him in a relationship to kind of ground her more, because he didn't Dex is having a very hard time lying at this moment. Like, he is having the hardest time. Like, feels the warmth. His skin is red. His scar feels like it hurts. Just throbbing on the side of his face. I'm telling you. Whew. Oh, listen, kid. When you get to be as old as me, you start losing your mind a little bit.
Raymond, we got business. I got business to take care of, especially if you've got, for your information, you better get out of here.
Yeah?
Yeah, get out of here.
Hey. Thank you. Thank you for listening to this old man. I appreciate it. I'm not always here, and I know I won't always be here. But thank you for making my time bearable.
Yeah, but I'm going to have a conversation with this Marshall Daly when I can find him.
Absolutely. Just keep your nose clean, okay?
All right. And he makes a gesture, and like these two goons come to take you out of the office.
Thank you. And Dex drinks the remainder of the cup of scotch.
And as he's walking out, you're walking out, and you can hear Burl say to one of the other goons, he says, yeah.
Burl?
Whitey Alexander says to one of their goons, he says, yeah, he hasn't seen Burl. I don't know. Right, as you're walking out.
Dex, when he's being let out, he's noticing the extra arm guards, more things. He's starting to pick up on little things, looking around. Does he see Roscoe at all?
No, there are no civilians.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it is just all a bunch of mob muscle. All on edge.
Dex looks down at his notepad. And it just says, none of the notes he was taking are there. It just says, find Dex. Dexter Raymond. Dexter Raymond. Dexter Raymond, Dexter Raymond, Dexter Raymond, Dexter Raymond.
And they lead you out to Greta Odemar's car.
Coffee? Anyone?
Get out of here. We got other business.
Fine. Dex hops in the car, waves goodbye really cheerily to the guard. Just a very like a nice pageant wave.
A nice, yeah.
Little queen wave. Hops in the car and doesn't drive. Just kind of sits there and tries to figure out what the next plan is. What time is it?
It's probably 4-ish.
4-ish.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And who was did I get any information? Bud Barron is who Pearl was trying to follow.
Mm-hmm.
Would I be able to use any of my skills at this point to find or to have any information on where Bud Barron might be? Any holdups? Any locations that might have
Sure.
a little more activity?
Yeah. You have Streetwise as a skill.
Yes.
And as a person who knows Streetwise, when you think about it, you think that the H.M. Hillier is actually Bud Burrell's sort of base of operation. That's what you've heard sort of on the streets and rumors, that when you're thinking about the name, you're like, yeah, no. Actually, I think that's probably where, I think that's Bud Barron. He was connected to that magazine distributor. Yeah, I mean, he's not Hillier, and he hasn't been there for a long time, but word on the street has it that that's where he's hanging out.
And I could easily find the location to this the magazine.
Oh yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
because it's 1937 and everybody's address is in the phone book.
Yeah.
So you can just look at a phone book.
Great idea, by the way.
What a great idea!
Yeah.
Where do you live? Where's your home? Oh, there it is in the phone book.
Where do you keep your family? Thank you, phone book. Dex will drive to the I guess the distribution center or the places.
So you drive over there, and it is a warehouse. And up on the front, it says H.M. Hillier's, and it's this, magazine and newspaper distribution company. And it's not that exciting, but it does say, closed to the public. But there doesn't seem to be anyone stopping you from, because it's during business hours. Doesn't say there's anyone to stop you to just go in if you wanted to.
Dex just kind of like reaches out and just opens the door. Like looks around, is like, is this easy? Is it?
The door's not locked.
Nope.
You open that door. I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Would you like to give me a push for a lucky break?
Yes.
Go ahead and just spin one of your pushes for me.
Okay. How do I do that again on here?
Just click it and delete. I think I can do that for you.
Oh.
There we go. I got it for you.
Yeah.
And you just already spent one earlier, so you have 2 left.
Yeah. Okay. Great. That's gonna be useful.
So you walk in, and you walk into this warehouse, and it is a warehouse full of rows and stacks of newspapers and magazines. And of course, on one far end, there's a staircase that leads up to where there's offices. And as you're looking, it's pretty, it is not empty in terms of, well, I would tell you that no one's here, but I don't mean that in a mysterious way. I don't mean it like, here's a business and no one is here. I just mean that no one's here right now. There are lights on up top, so there are clearly people up in the offices upstairs, but there's nobody sort of wandering around down here. And as you're looking, you see lots of magazines, including a lot of fitness magazines, where you have good-looking people in bathing suits doing fitness. And you know that people like to buy fitness magazines because they're a little saucy. And there's bodybuilding magazines of all sorts. And so you've got this whole sort of set of sort of saucy blue magazines. And as you're wandering about, you come across in the corner, and nobody has, it seems like maybe people are on break. It's sort of like a lucky break for you, that people are basically on break. And you see in the corner, there's a corner of the warehouse, and there seems to be what looks like a break area. It's not. There's no like table or anything special. They're just a bunch of like folding chairs in this area, and scattered about there are a number of mason jars with white masking tape labels with a date written on it and that same cramped, scrawled, barely literate hand. And it's those jars of moonshine, the same date and batch that you saw before. And most of them are empty. There's some moonshine and a little bit of them, but they're just sort of like, it seems like it would be a place where people would sort of take their break and sort of drink and have some kind of pleasant time.
Yeah. Dex kind of, with an eye up toward the offices with the lights on, kind of creeps over to the doorway into the break room, peeks in a little bit. Is anyone there at all?
Nope.
Dex kind of just lets down his guard just a little bit and loosens up, kind of quickly gets into the room. How many mason jars are there?
There are like 6 or 7.
And like a couple of them are full?
None of them are full. Some of them are empty, but some of them are half full. It looks like people and you can see like a deck of cards right in the corner on a small card table. It looks like a place where people might play cards, drink a little bit, sit around. There are a couple of the fitness magazines sitting on the side.
Yeah.
It's classy.
Yeah, I can tell. Dex kind of twists the jar around and looks at it. Okay.
Same date, same handwriting, same masking tape.
The one with the most in it, Dex pockets, puts into one of his many little pockets that he keeps in his jacket. It's a little cumbersome. It's sticking out. It's definitely hitting him in the ribs a little harder than he wants it to, just by sitting there. Is there anything else on the table? Any traces of anything, or
no? Just some dirty magazines. Not really dirty. 1937 dirty. Just almost dirty magazines. Some cards, and then the door opens and a man walks in, and this man looks to be a janitor. And he looks at you and he says, "Oh, sorry." And then he stops and he looks at you again, and you can see that he's in a moment of indecision about whether or not he should say anything to you or not. And then he says, I guess you're with the man upstairs?
Yeah. Geez, I have a meeting with him. I'm looking to be a new writer here, and I am trying to interview with all the new people and talk to them. But I am so drained today. Dex, is there a cup of coffee or anything that's kind of lying?
No, they don't drink. This is an office full of alcohol.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Dex kind of has a little bit of glass of the moonshine and just drinks it.
And he says, I don't want to.
No. You're listen.
And he's got this push broom on him, and he's like, yeah. I don't mean to intrude. I know you.
No, you're not intruding. I just got to town today. I am as you can see, I am a little worse for wear. The plane lost my baggage. Everything is just
it's none of my business what you gentlemen do.
No. I just need to know if you could I forgot the guy's name.
Mr. Barron?
Mr. Barron. Yes, Barron. I knew it. That's like, it's a name you shouldn't forget.
Do you want me to take you to his office?
No. I've got it.
I mean, I can just take you there. It's not a problem.
No. It's totally fine. I know it's right up the stairs. I can find my way up there. It's the one with the lights.
Third door on the left?
Yeah. Third door on the left. Yeah.
It's. I mean, and you think maybe he's a little afraid of you? Perhaps. Just like there's a little bit of a tension in him when he's sort of interacting with you, and he notices the bulge in your jacket, and he's like, "Look, I don't want any trouble. You all can stay here as long as you want, and I can just take you to him. It's really not a problem."
Wait, what do you mean, you all?
I mean,
the employees?
I mean, you all. I mean, it's fine. I mean, nobody's bothered that you all are here. I mean, I can just.
Hey, buddy. What's your name?
Tom.
Would you mind just coming in here and shutting the door for a second?
No, it's fine.
Dex opens up. It's It pulls out the thing of moonshine. Party favors. I'm not. It's no weapons. I have nothing on me.
And he looks at the blood on your collar.
Okay, I do have. That was from doing my American duty and punching a Nazi.
And he says, I'm sorry. I should probably not be here right now. I just was here to clean up a little bit. I'm sorry.
Listen, buddy. Tom, was it?
Yeah.
Dex puts everything down and sits down. Tom, hi. My name's Casey. I want to know everything you know about this place. No harm will come to you. And Dex pulls out $1.50. This is yours.
He looks. And he steps into the break room and looking around the corner as if he's just waiting, as if this were some sort of a trap, and that $1.50 were some sort of cheese. He walks in and then somebody murders him. Mm-hmm. And he just sort of steps in, reaches out, takes the $1.50, puts it in his overalls, which are a little bit dusty.
Yeah.
What do you want to know?
I would like to use reassurance on him, just to really kind of soften this. You said you don't mind that we're here.
No, I don't mind at all.
Who is we and who are you?
I just work here at the warehouse. I just clean up.
Okay.
That's all. I don't know anything. I wouldn't ever say anything to anybody.
But Bud Barron has been here.
Yes, sir.
How long has he been here?
He's just been here a couple months.
Couple months. And how frequently do they drink this and Dex?
Oh.
Yeah. Mason jar.
That was given as that's one of the other guys, gentlemen, people who work with Mr. Barron, drops it off sometimes for his people who like to hang out in the warehouse at times, work here.
Do you know who drops off the product?
Oh, yeah, a Mr. Cohen.
Cohen, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I can. Mr. Barron's pretty nice. I mean, I can take you to him. It's not a big deal. I mean, if you've got an interview with him, I mean, I don't want to. I mean, an interview with him. I'm not gonna. I mean,
I'm trying to figure out. Dex just kind of drops everything. Listen, Tom. I need to figure out what happened with the girl. There's some stuff here. I had to figure out what happened. Okay?
Okay.
Figure out what happened.
Okay.
I need to figure out where this moonshine comes from. Do you know who drops it off? Cohen, you said Cohen dropped it off.
Yeah.
Where does Cohen get it? Do you know? Dex?
I don't know. I mean, you'd have to ask Mr. Barron.
Do you have any coffee?
And he looks around. Let me take you to Mr. Barron. Come on. And he reaches out to get your shoulder, to get your oh, I'm
sorry. I forgot who I was. I forgot where I was. Sorry.
Let me just take you to the boss. It'll be fine. I mean,
Dex,
he's not my boss, but he's now the boss.
Dex pulls out the pills, reaches in, puts one in his mouth. There are no pills in this bottle.
Yeah.
He pantomimes the whole thing.
Let me take you to the boss. I mean, sort of my boss.
Yes. Actually, I know the way. Third door on the right. Tom, was it?
Yes, sir.
Take care of yourself. Be good. Keep your nose clean. Stay out of trouble. Okay?
Yeah. Let me take you, sir.
No, I got this myself. Thank you. Dex stands up, puts the bottle of moonshine back in his pocket.
And Tom is just looking at you.
One of the open jars of moonshine, just a little tiny sip, enough to coat the tongue to get that
burns. And you taste the desert a little bit.
Okay, Dex walks out the door.
And Tom follows you. And he says, just right up there.
Right up there? Gotcha. Thank you, Tom. Dex is going up the stairs and rounds the corner.
And Tom is just like watching you.
Now at this point, Dex realizes he doesn't have much of a plan. And he's gonna go talk to Bud, or to who is he?
Bud Barron.
Bud Barron. Dex waves and
like Tom's there with the broom and he's just looking up at you. And you can still tell he's still trying to figure out, like, are you one of Bud Barron's gangsters that hangs out here and that I should be worried about? Like, he doesn't really know exactly who you are. And the whole encounter was strange and uncanny for him. So he's just sitting there looking a little bit on edge.
Dex, before he goes into the building, slaps his cheeks a little bit, stretches, and just says a few words to himself quietly under his breath, inaudible. A few words to himself. Stands up straight, fixes his glasses, adjusts his tie, knocks on the door.
And then you hear a, "Come in."
Opens the door. Hello!
And there you see, sitting on top, on the desk, a man naddily dressed, right, in a light-colored suit. And he's got a pencil-thin mustache, really expensive suit, with a bunch of files and papers. And he looks up at you and he goes, "Huh, how may I help you?"
Hey.
And with that, I think we need to go on break.
Oh
no!
Here we go.
Yeah. That, my friends, is going to be break time. We're going to take a short 5-minute break so that we can stretch our legs and drink some water, go to the restroom, perhaps have some moonshine, whatever you like.
I'll drink some moonshine after this at some point. I think I'm going to have to have some moonshine.
Yes, indeed. Do we have any donations to read out?
Actually, here's the funny thing. That's the one thing I didn't do when I set up the thing. So we'll do it at the end of the stream. I'll have it set up on the break. It's literally right here next to me. I just didn't put it on. So oops. But thank you. If you donated, I appreciate you.
If you donated, we will know. We will know. You cannot escape us. We're going to go on a quick break. We will be back in about 5 minutes. Have a wonderful break yourself. Do something lovely. And when we come back, Dex is going to talk to mobster Bud Barron and find out perhaps a little bit more about this moonshine and what.
See you getting that hat again.
Oh, yeah. There's going to be some hat time. All right, everybody. We'll be back in about 5 minutes. We will be there. Ciao. And we are back from break. Hello, everyone. How are you? I hope all of you lovely space cadets in the audience are feeling delicious and excited for the conclusion of the Fathomless sleep.
The thrilling conclusion of the Fathomless. There's no R to roll there, but
It's fine.
I wanted to try to roll whatever I can.
One should always roll their R's.
Roll their R's and roll their C's and roll their P's and roll their D's.
All of
That sounded weird. I didn't want to say that one.
Just, you know what? I'm not even...
Don't roll the D's, guys. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
To you.
So, welcome back from break. We are at the end of the Fathomless Sleep Cthulhu Confidential, presented by GeekSpaceTV. And we are, at the moment, at the office door of Bud Barron, East Coast gangster, who has been giving some trouble to Whitey Alexander, the syndicate out of L.A., and also has moonshine that has been seen of the same type in Helen Deacon's possession. So, right now, our Dex Raymond, private detective, old man, maybe some internal bleeding.
Maybe a little bit.
Maybe a little bit. Does not currently have his pills anymore, so he's not feeling so well. But he is dedicated, despite not feeling that well, to find out what happened. What is the mystery? He's got curiosity that's going to keep driving him forward.
It is, after all, what killed the cat.
It is. And here we are. He is standing in front of a very well-dressed gangster, Bud Barron, who looks at him and says, how may I help you?
Mr. Barron, first off, it is an absolute honor and a privilege to be making your acquaintance here. My name is Dexter Raymond. Dex reaches out his hand.
And Bud Barron shakes her hand. He stands up.
Dex grabs the hand and just shakes it a little embarrassingly, but just a little too much. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh no, have a seat. Would you like a scotch? Coffee.
Have it.
I can do that. And he goes off, and he's got like a bar in the back of the office, and he gets a cup of coffee, and he brings you a cup of coffee, and he also brings you like a little like a coffee finger. What do you like a Vienna finger sort of coffee right there, little cookie, right? Puts a little, and there's a little cookie on it, and he hands it to you.
Jeez, this is some consideration. Thank you.
Of course.
I knew you weren't like these schmucks down here in LA, thinking that they run the place. No manners, no common courtesy. I am sorry. I am maybe saying too much here. My name is again Dexter Raymond. I am just honored to be here. Dex pulls out of his pocket, grabs a pill, and just without breaking out, I can't tell you, still talking at him. It just takes it pantomimes a pill to his mouth.
And who might you be?
Dexter Raymond, I am a curious party.
You know what they say about curiosity.
Yes, I have heard it many times, and I hear it has something to do with a cat.
Yeah, it killed the cat. So, what brings you to my office?
Well,
the office of a reputable businessman.
Of course. I want to lay all my cards on the table here. So I would like to push with a little bit of reassurance. I would like to like really, really like not bargain, but I guess it would be reassurance.
Yeah.
Mr. Barron. Is it okay if I call you Mr. Barron?
Of course.
Mr. Barron. Mr. Barron. I am a private investigator.
Oh.
I know what you're thinking. Why is a private investigator here at this legitimate business? And I'm telling you, I have no reason. I have been to a couple other businesses that were less legitimate than yours. And I have to say, I like what you've done with this place. I like the vibe that you're bringing to this town. And I could say that maybe you're scaring some of the rats right away to the ocean.
Well, I wouldn't call them rats.
No.
But what I'd call them is, and no offense, because I'm not speaking to you, you seem like a fine gentleman, but I'd say old. Old in their thinking, you know?
Yeah. Well, you gotta be the top of your game. You gotta think ahead. You can't think about the present. You gotta think about the 30s and the 50s and the 60s. You gotta think beyond this.
Yes, that's exactly right.
I can see from what you have set up. You have a nice little establishment here. You're making a good name for yourself. You're moving. You're cross pollinating across the country.
Yes.
That's saying things at this point, just like very flattering things that are just not like if you thought about it too long, it's like cross-pollinating.
What does it even mean?
What does that mean? It just sounds nice. So Dex is just like, yep.
So you're a private detective.
Yes.
And what are you detecting?
There was a woman, a girl, rather, who disappeared a few months ago. Mm-hmm. She turned up, blood on her. Clearly, this is no. I want to stress this to you, Mr. Barron. My investigation is not looking into anything that you're doing. Frankly, a legitimate businessman as yourself, you should know you are out of harm's way. I just found something that kind of led me here, and I was wondering if and no offense, you took me in, you treated me well, so I'm laying all the cards on the table.
Would you like another ladyfinger?
Oh, I would love one, actually. Dex didn't even touch the first one, but just drank all the coffee and then just went for it. Kind of fell off a little bit, and he's just kind of digging through the cup.
And then he gets another ladyfinger out, and he puts it on your little cup. And I will tell you, these are this is a nice coffee. Like it's China, and it's nice. It's not I don't know how good you are at knowing the intricacies of China patterns. It just looks like nice China, which is a little bit weird because we're in a warehouse. But like his place is, it looks classy. It looks like he's making an effort to make it look that if you walked in, you'd think he was somebody who was important, even though we're in the office in a warehouse of a magazine distributor.
I'm pretty sure my mom used to have a knockoff version of this. Is this real?
It is indeed. Only the very best from here on out. So, you are looking for a girl. A dame.
Actually, girl was found wandering the street, covered in not her blood, in her underwear. She has not spoken a single word.
Okay.
She has mumbled. She has muttered. There are some low level crooks, like oh god, what is his name? The schmuck. Sorry, the old way of thinking guy. Whitey Alexander.
Yeah.
Whitey Alexander. He runs the Allegro or whatever. The club.
Allegria. It's a casino.
Yeah.
That's a casino that could make a lot of money in the right hands.
Huh.
In the right hands, of course.
Fair enough.
So you're here about a dame.
Yeah.
And you're not here about business.
Well, here's where it can get a little fuzzy. My Dex pauses for a second, reaches into his pocket, pantomimes another pill, downs the remainder of the coffee, eats the ladyfinger. Now
he takes out a cigarette and he's, observing you.
So the thing I want to get to, these are fantastic, by the way.
Thank you. They come in from New York.
Whew. You know how to treat them. So, when I was looking into this, Helen was dating a few people, they just dating around, finding some stuff. Leads led me here. I actually found this. Dex pulls out the bottle of moonshine. I found this in one of her boyfriend's apartments. I had it tested for fingerprints. What I'm asking you is, where do you get this stuff? I saw some in the break room downstairs, and strong. Whew.
So, Mr. Raymond, it was, yeah?
Correct.
You're looking into this Helen dame, right?
Yeah.
But you don't care about the business so much. That's not what you're here for.
No, I'm here to figure out what happened for a family that's a little too scared. I'm a simple man. I'd like to figure out what happened. I promise someone.
I'm going to tell you something. If we have a discussion, you and I, on account of you're worried about somebody's family, I care about families, you're reassuring me this is not about anything else.
Oh.
Might you reassure me that you're not going to make any trouble for my business associates?
Oh, Dex is like he's about to dismiss it as in like, oh my God, no. And then he stops. You ever heard of Clara Nabel?
Nah, who's that?
How about the Order of the Argent Light?
Nah. What is that? What is that?
They have some ties to this moonshine. There's some crazy cult. And here's the thing. I believe a lot of the people out here were getting mixed up with this crazy cult, and I'd hate to see someone like you. And I know you're too smart for that, but they have a way. They have a way of getting the money. They have a way of tricking and dragging people, and we believe that that's what happened to Helen.
I don't know anything about that. But I can tell you some stuff. But I'll tell you what. We got to make a deal, you and I. Okay?
Okay.
Deal is, we have a discussion. You're not going to go and do anything that's going to put me out of business or inconvenience, or you didn't hear anything from me, right?
Yeah. Oh, hey. Dex take his pad. Off the record.
So, I know this broad that you're talking about. I know her. She's, not so smart, shall we say. I happen to be visiting the Allegria. I wanted to have a conversation with Mr. Alexander. Was, gonna be a friendly conversation about how maybe he would want to be a bit more involved. It has to do, it's money business. You don't need to know about it.
No, of course not.
Nonetheless. So I'm on my way out, right? Conversation didn't go so well, blah, 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 blah. He didn't see things my way. I had an idea about the way his business might work a little bit better than the way he thought about it. He didn't agree. He wanted me to leave. Anyway, I'm on my way out. And this broad, right, comes up to me right in the middle of this casino. And she says she wants to make a deal with me or something, right? And I'm like, hey, lady, what is this, right? We can have some kind of, so anyway, I was like, we can talk not in the casino, right? Not right in the middle of all these places.
Of course.
Anyway, nobody saw us talking, right? But they could have, right? They could have seen us talking, and I'm thinking, this woman, she's got no sense. Anyway, we talk briefly here. She says that she can get me. Wait a minute. Again, this is just because you want to find about her, right?
Yes, it's all about her. Just trying to figure out what happened.
Not about the business.
No, I don't. Honestly, do I look like a man who's into this kind of business?
No.
I do not have the style or the grace that you have.
All right. So, this dame, turns out she's seeing Whitey Alexander, right? She says that she can get the books to Whitey's casino, proving that he's skimming off the top, cheating Guy McAfee, right? If we can get those books showing that he's, cheating Guy McAfee, not only can we figure, what we figure is we can maybe get the whole casino, right?
Yeah.
So, but here's the deal. Here's the thing. I don't like it. It smells funny. I think she's just not, I don't know. Anybody's going to talk to you right in the middle of a casino like that, not subtle enough for me. Subtle enough for me. I don't like it. But it looks like it could be a good deal, but I don't feel good about it. So what I do is I say, okay, I'll tell you what. I'm going to get you in contact with somebody who's not me who can make this deal.
Yeah.
So I put her in contact with, Mr. Siegel's right-hand man. Mr. Mickey Cohen. I figure if it goes well, then I still get credit for like the contact. If it goes badly, I'm not involved. That's all Mickey Cohen. Mickey Cohen's a bit of a nut. Like I don't like he's a nut. He'll like I didn't say it, but he's a nut. Anyway, I figure let crazy Mickey handle her. They're two peas in a pod, do whatever they want to do. If it blows up, it's his fault. I don't care, right? It's not, no matter what happens, I'm not involved. I'm not implicated. Anyway, I go and put them in contact with each other. That's not my business. Unless it goes well, then I take some credits, fine. But the next thing I hear, this dame, she gives the books over. That's what I hear. I hear that, right? She did her part in the business.
Helen gave the books over.
That's what I heard.
Oh.
Yeah, that she, like, handed over the books, and I was like, that's pretty great. I mean, that's, you know. Now, Mr. Siegel, though, he moves at his own speed. He moves how he wants to. He's not like, he's smart. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like Al Capone came here a couple of years ago, and he got run out because he wasn't smart. He tried to move too fast, he wasn't smart about it, whatever. Anyway, Mr. Siegel, he's going to go do things at his own time. He gets the books, he's sitting on them, I don't know what he's going to do. Anyway, what happens, as far as I know then, is that she goes missing. That's it. That's all I know. So, but then, she turns up with amnesia, but this is none of my business.
No.
Right. None of my business.
That's my business.
And, you know, I gotta tell you, all I know, I put her in contact with Mickey, and they do this or whatever kind of deal they got going on, and then she turns up with amnesia. But none of my business.
No,
That's
you're absolved. You're clean from this. I do have to ask you a very important favor.
Yeah.
And I'm not in the business of asking businessmen favors.
Well, if you want to ask me a favor, maybe I can do something for you. You can do something for me.
Sounds
right?
fair to me.
Okay. What do you want to know?
I would like to know where I can find Mickey Cohen.
Oh, why? You want some of that moonshine of his?
Something like that.
All right. Well, Mickey's a little bit hard to find because he wanders around a lot of different places. Sometimes he's here. He drops off, that moonshine from wherever he gets it. I don't know. But you could find him, well, I don't think he's going to be here tonight, but, what is it? Okay. You know the Brown Derby?
Yeah.
Yeah. He should be there tonight. Drinking up, doing his thing.
Okay.
He's not there every night, though. You could see him there tonight, but tomorrow he's not going to be there. Tomorrow will be somebody else. I don't...
I'm in a hurry. You know me. I try to figure out...
You okay? Hey, you don't look so good.
Oh.
You don't look so good, man.
I'm fine. I'm just getting a bit old, fought in a war. You know how it is. Or maybe you don't, but you know what I mean.
I mean, I haven't fighting in one of those kind of wars, but never, not that I would do nothing illegal or dangerous or nothing like that, but I know what it's like to have like a hard life.
Hey. Thank you for the information. I will keep your name out of this. I didn't hear nothing from you. And I want to say, in case no one else here has said it, welcome to LA.
Oh, thanks. Hey, Mr. Raymond, private detective, right?
Yeah.
Maybe if we need something from you one time, we'll reach out. We'll find you. If we need something.
Dirks holds his hands up and points to his pocket like he's going to grab something out. Doesn't want anything to be. Dirks writes down his phone number.
Thank you very much. Mr. Raymond. We always sometimes need people who can find out information. That's useful. But look, you asked right about that moonshine. That comes from Mr. Cohen. I don't know where he gets it, but he brings it around for the boys. They like it. They like to drink it. They got a taste for it from back in the day.
I want to give you I don't know if it's a professional warning, but more of a courtesy. the moonshine is not strictly moonshine.
What do you mean?
I had a scientist friend look into it. There is some hallucinogenic properties to it.
Oh.
I'm not. I'm just gonna say if you're trying to keep your men level-headed, I'm not sure that's the stuff they should be drinking. You know.
That would explain a couple of things. That would explain a couple of things. Like you see things or whatever on it.
Yeah, I took some the other day instead of a bathtub. It didn't go so well.
I don't know where he gets it, but I remember that. Like, because right now at this moment, man, I gotta be on it because it's like a moment, you know.
Yeah. Hey, thank you again.
Hey, I care about people's families, but I'll tell you, that Helen Dame, she must have been desperate or something, but she wasn't smart. So, just saying. But I didn't have nothing to do with it. I don't know what happened to her in any way.
No. I'll keep your name out of it. I believe you. I would like to just real quick assess honesty, just a little bit on this.
Mm-hmm. So when you assess honesty on this guy, he is a crook.
Oh yeah, super crook.
He's a super crook. Super crook, ow.
He's a crime doer.
He's a crime doer, but what you get from this, sort of assessing his character and assessing his honesty, is that what he's telling you is not a lie. He seems to be pretty upfront because he seems to... You get the sense from him that he's always hedging his bets, right? Mm-hmm. So he's always setting it up so that he's not going to ever look bad in the end. You also get the sense that he's maybe not the boldest mover, right? That he's like, he'll put big, bold moves in other people's courts.
Yeah.
And you also kind of got the sense that maybe him telling you this, which was all true, might be useful to him in case Mickey Cohen blows up in some kind of a weird way. Mm. Right? That it's a way to maybe implicate Mickey if things don't look good. If in case he needs implication later, right, as a distance.
Well, he's smart. I'll give him that.
But it doesn't seem like he's lying to you. It does seem like he might be interested in having some other person that allows him to... It's not bad for him to, in case whatever happened to her is really bad, that there's somebody else that
he's being smart. He's being safe. Taking care of it. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dex bids him adieu.
And as you're about ready to walk out, there's a knock on the door. And Mr. Barron goes, "This might be some of my associates. One moment. Come in." And you see two men walk in. And you recognize them as the two men who were in the car that sped away from the Allegria the other night. The ones who were the calm ones when there was a huge explosion.
Yeah.
And they also seem to be packing guns. You can tell the bulge in their jacket. Mm-hmm. And they come in and they see you and they're like, "Oh, sorry, we didn't know you had company, Mr. Barron." And Bud's like, "No, it's okay. He's just on his way out. Don't worry about it. Gentlemen, come on in. Mr. Raymond, it was lovely meeting you.
And I hope meeting you too.
We can do some business again sometime.
Feel free to give me a call. It's nice seeing you. It's nice to meet you two gentlemen for the first time ever." And
they're like, "Yeah, okay."
Dex just kind of slides out the door.
And as you're walking out, you can see that you had a lucky break when you came in, that whoever these people were sort of out of the warehouse.
Yeah.
But as you're walking out, you notice that they seem to have come back, and you can hear people sort of laughing in the break room, and you can see some basically goons, sort of like mobster goons who are now in this warehouse. They're not doing warehouse work. They are probably here for a meeting or something, right? This seems to be like their hangout, hideout, and you can make your way out without there being any trouble. If you had been a little bit less lucky of a space, you probably would have walked into a bunch of mobsters. But you can also tell there's tension with them as well, right?
Okay.
You get a sense of what you get a sense of is an impending war is what you get a sense of. You get a sense that people are getting ready for violence. Not towards you.
Yeah.
But
Hopefully.
But you get an impending sense of violence.
Dex kind of casually strolls out, like really casually, a little more like just kind of walks out the door, not trying to draw any attention to himself. He knows that he's probably safe, but he just wants to ease his way out of the building. Peek. Is there a place where he can peek into the break room where it is not super visible that he's looking?
Yeah, as you're walking out, right, you can take a route out of the way which will walk you past the break room.
Uh-huh.
And as you walk past, that's like a gangster movie just waiting to happen. You see like 4 or 5 guys, and you see guns on the table, right? And they're laughing, like they're a little tense, but they seem to be feeling good about their current situation. There's like a little bit of a tenseness, but and if you just keep walking where you don't they don't really notice you because you don't linger in any way, but there are guns on the table, and there's a bit of laughing about. I think they're feeling pretty secure about their space in Los Angeles at the moment.
Excellent. Okay.
For them.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Dex goes out the front. Dex wants to walk into that room. Dex wants to hear everything that they're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Dex bites his tongue, licks his lip, and goes out the front door.
Mm-hmm. And it's getting evening time. It's probably around 5-ish. And the Brown Derby's not too far across town. And I think life's super great if you're an East Coast mobster at the moment. Yeah. I don't know how it is for you.
little bit. It's not as good for Dex at the moment.
Maybe.
Dex takes a step out. He puts his cigarette in his mouth, pulls out the pill bottle, and bumps into someone on the sidewalk. The pill bottle opens and just falls onto the sidewalk. Collapses. Dex immediately falls on the ground and is putting in each individual pill, scrambling, going between the cracks. There's no pills. The pill bottle's been empty for the entire day. He's just kind of scrambling and picking up things and just kind of putting almost pantomiming. And
there's the woman who bumped into you. She sort of holds her pocketbook a little bit tighter as she walks by looking at you. And as you're there on the sidewalk, you just see that same black cat. You think it's the same one, just walking by, just looking at you, and then continuing on.
Dex gets in the car. Feels this burning in his chest. Up through his throat. Feels like not quite acid, but he can taste it, and it's metallic, but it's not. He can almost taste the moonshine, as if it's just lingering in his throat, filling up, like he's going to choke on it.
You can still smell it. That smell of acetone, that smell of grease.
Dex takes pantomimes another pill. It's not working anymore. And then Dex has the thought, it's not working anymore, followed by saying the words, it's not working anymore. It's not working anymore. Dex lights up a cigarette without even looking at the road, just drives out into traffic to the Brown Derby.
And you hear somebody laying on the horn, and somebody swerves a little bit as they're trying to sort of make their way into traffic. And you find, so here's something, traffic is bad in Los Angeles, but it's always been bad in Los Angeles. It's not like it was that much better in 37, and you're in traffic on your way down to the Derby, and it's just awful, and it's slow, and people are moving around, and you finally make it to the Derby, and it's like 6-ish, maybe like 6:15, quarter after, 6:30, and the Derby still looks like a Derby at this point in time. It's one of those classic Los Angeles buildings that's built to look like a thing rather than a building, and it looks like it's a big nightclub, and like part of it looks like a brown derby hat. And there are people sort of coming in and out, and of course there's a valet, and there are lights, and there's sort of the excitement of sort of a nice nightclub. Yeah. And you pull up, and there's like a young, sort of reedy looking kid, and he's the valet, and he's like, "Key, sir?" "Thank you, sir." And he's waiting for you to get out, and he opens the car door for you.
Dex is just a little confused, but he doesn't know why. He feels like he's done this before. And
sir?
He can't put his Yes, thank you very much. Dex pulls out like a penny.
He takes it. "Thank you, sir."
Thank you. Be nice, but it's not mine. Famous actresses.
Oh.
Yeah.
Huh.
Don't do anything weird. I'm
no,
kidding,
sir.
Kidding. You're great. Have a good time. Take care of it.
And the kid gets in the car, and he drives off with it off to a lot. And there is the brown derby. And you see people dressed nicer than you are walking in to this club, and you can hear some big band swing inside.
Dex just like looks at his watch. Shit. Runs over to the payphone across the street from
velvet ropes.
He has to step over the velvet ropes. He has to like crawl. He got into it. He's like, oh, then there's people behind him, and he just kind of hops over the velvet ropes, goes around the corner, and dials Margaret Deacon's number.
Yep. And you hear that voice again. "Deacon residence, how may I help you?"
It's Dexter Raymond calling for Margaret.
"One moment, please."
Thank you.
And you have to wait a little bit, and then the phone call, and the receiver picks up again. "Mr. Raymond, this is Margaret. Are you going to be here?"
Sorry, Margaret. I got a little turned around. Got a little. I had to follow a lead. I think I might have figured out maybe a little bit of what happened. I will call you as soon as I can. Please stay safe. I forgot where he is. I forgot where he went, and he's gone, and he left. He was.
Are you speaking about Marshall Daly?
He was 11. He was 11. And he there was this yes, Marshall Daly is safe. He is in my custody, is in my care. I am currently investigating further into the matter. There is a Mr. Cohen that you may be familiar with, the gangster, Mickey Cohen.
Oh, I don't know really that. I'm so sorry.
Your sister might, and that's what I'm going to look into. Thank you for calling me back. I will get back to you as soon as I find out any more information. Stay safe and look after your sister. I'll come over when I'm finished.
Mr. Raymond, are you all right?
Dex hangs up the phone.
And Margaret is standing there in the foyer of her mansion, sort of just trying to assess what that was. And then she puts the receiver down as we cut back to Dex in this phone booth right across the street from the Brown Derby. And there's, a couple walking down the street, and they're laughing as they go into the Derby. And you know how when it's nighttime and there are these sort of artificial lights and everything looks a little bit hyper real?
Uh-huh.
And everybody's laughing, and their faces might just look a little bit strange to you when you're not in that same space as they are.
Yeah.
And perhaps also having slight withdrawal symptoms from not having your pills for a while. Yeah, that's the space you're in.
Dex Dex has to kind of recalibrate. He swears he's hearing people say his name. He's looking at all the passersby. He knows someone saying something about him. He just doesn't know what. He doesn't want to play on it. He doesn't want them to know that he's listening to them. He doesn't want them. He wants.
They might be looking at you too. You know, just maybe out of the corner of their eye, the people walking on the street probably looking at you.
Yeah. What are they looking at?
Maybe they're just looking at the blood on your collar. Maybe they know something about you.
Dex takes a quick puff of the cigarette, flicks it away, and just gets back into the line. Goes to the Brown Derby. There's a lot of there's too much. The world outside is overwhelming. There's echoes. There are sirens that I'm hearing, and there are screams, and she's calling. She's calling him. She's calling him. She's calling him. She hasn't called him. She's calling them. She's calling them both.
And you can hear, it's like you can hear her, and you hear her calling out, Dexter? Dexter? And then the doors shut to the Derby as you walk in, and that voice that you heard is gone. And you just hear the sounds of a big band, and there are couples on the dance floor, and they're doing a great Lindy Hop right now, and they're flying up in the air, and people you can hear glasses tinkling, and you can hear the sounds of shoes on the dance floor. And the dance floor, by the way, is gorgeous. It's a nice wooden dance floor that's sprung, so it's made for dancing. And there's this big band that's there, and you're not super late in the evening, so this is not the headliner. It's sort of like an opening act, but they're dancing, and people are drinking old fashions and martinis, and there's like just this nice club, and there are beautiful people, and there's some photographers taking shots of people here and there. And out in the corner, you see what only look like a bunch of wise guys to you. And you see like one fellow in the center and hangers on. And this guy, I mentioned that a lot of the people that you've been seeing so far have been sort of good-looking people.
Yeah.
He is not a good-looking person. He's got this flattened nose like it's been punched a few too many times, a slight cauliflower ear. He has got these like burly shoulders, and he's wearing a suit that is too dark for Los Angeles in autumn. He still looks like an East Coast guy. And there are a couple of things you know about Mickey Cohen. Have you ever seen him?
Dex knows.
But this is him. And there are things you know about him. You know that he is a bit of a sociopath.
Yeah.
And you know that he is very quick to be offended, and you know he's very quick to violence. He likes to murder people.
Yeah.
He was one of these... rumor has he was part of a hit squad back east, and he just killed a lot of people. Very touchy. You also know that he hates Nazis, and he sometimes just goes out, finds them, and kills them. This is a thing that's a little bit notorious about him. He's into that space at the moment.
Yeah.
And you know that you should probably be a little bit careful not to offend him, because he is liable to just go off at any moment. He's notoriously touchy. Now, I will say this in his as a compliment to him, he's less touchy than Ben Siegel, his boss. Ben Siegel, his boss, everybody sees, like, his boss has been around town for a while now, and his boss is quite handsome. His boss is, sharp, likes to hang out with famous people, likes to hang out with Hollywood. But his boss is also a sociopath, and also like a torturer and a murderer and like a really horrible person who, if you don't, whatever you do not call him Bugsy. Don't call him Bugsy Siegel, because Bugsy is slang for crazy, and he will kill you. Like, that is just it. So this is a pair of people who are really violent and very, very dangerous and very touchy. It's a little bit of a powder keg situation. But Ben Siegel is not here. He would be somewhere else. But there is Mickey Cohen in the corner, laughing. And he's got these sycophants who are just sort of, thinking everything he says is so funny.
Dex scopes out the situation. He has heard of Mickey Cohen. He knows he knows what Mickey Cohen's capable of, and he Mickey Cohen is one of the people he genuinely despises on this planet.
Yeah.
Dex notices what's happening. Sees a couple of are there any trays of maybe
yes.
that's been sitting idle for a little bit before it got bust. Dex grabs a little bit of what appears to be a gin and tonic and just kind of really just rubs it in.
Just a little bit of a cologne.
Messes up the hair, kind of. Finds a partially lit cigarette that's just there. Kind of stumbles over to really kind of a little more hunched over, a little more limpy. He doesn't look like he belongs here, but he also doesn't look like he's not welcome. He looks like an early afternoon regular who stayed a little too late.
Yes.
Sir, sorry to interrupt, sir.
Who's this? Who's this guy? Who are you?
Dex kind of stumbles in and trips a little too quickly for. I'm assuming the guards would probably get. Dex is like, oh no, and his shoe kicks off, and he tries to get his shoe and put it back on, but he's
like, look at this guy. He's a mess.
He has to sit down, and he's holding his ankle.
And the guards are a little bit wary of you, like they don't know what you're about.
Mister, I don't want to insult you.
Don't insult me then.
Yes, of course. I'm sorry. Mister, is it okay if I call you Mr. Cohen?
Yeah? How do you know my name?
I've heard nothing about you, but things that I agree with. And I have been scouring the city. I have been looking for someone to help me find my baby girl.
Maybe you gotta talk to a police officer or something.
I can't go to them. You know that they won't do anything. Hey. I fought for this country. I fought in the war. I killed.
Hey, okay. Just,
They leave me. They left me here. And there's nothing I can do, and they won't do anything. And the only lead I found is you, and I don't want to come to you. You're a businessman. You're someone who can't worry about this, but I don't know where to turn.
And everyone's feeling really uncomfortable. Like, everybody's looking really uncomfortable right now, and the guards don't really know what to do. And Mickey Cohen's looking, he's like, okay, why you want to come talk to me? What? Tell me, okay, what is it?
My name is Dexter.
Okay.
My daughter got in with this cult. She had some money from my mother's side. She got in with this group of crazy Nazi lovers. She didn't know. They lied to her. They lied to my little girl. The order of the something. They had this drink. And Dex pulls out a thing of the moonshine. They had this. She started drinking this stuff. She disappeared with those Nazi lovers. And I found some gangsters who look smarter than the normal rats that we have here in town, and they were drinking this stuff too, and it led me here. I had to give all of the money I had in my pocket. Dex kind of casually reaches in, like opens his sleeve, no weapon, pulls out his wallet. It's empty. There's a couple pennies in there, and a picture of a young girl. I don't mean to bother you, sir, Mr. Cohen. I know I know of you, and I would be a liar if I didn't. I know what could happen to me, but my girl is everything.
You say
And I
you
just
got
want to figure out
some Nazi lovers, some order of something or other.
order of the. May I reach into my pocket? Pulls out a piece of paper. Order of the Argent Light. This girl named Clora Nobel, and she's all about those Nazis. She loves Pelly. She loves all the Nazi lovers. She got the books. I can't help. I
You said
knew
she
should have listened to
kidnapped
my
your
mom. I should
girl?
not have moved from the East Coast. I should not have left Jersey.
Well, give me the information. Give me the information. Give me the paper.
Dex pulls out a piece of paper and just kind of has the Order of the Argent Light. The name clearly it's scribbled. It clearly says Clara Nables. Basically, any information that's non-incriminating for Dex's non-story.
All right. Hey, get this guy a martini or something. Get him something to drink. This guy's
Coffee, if possible.
get him a coffee. This guy's All right. So you say these Nazi lovers stole your little girl?
Yeah, she's 18.
All right.
She doesn't know what she's doing.
That's all right.
She doesn't know what those dirtbag Nazis stand for.
Yeah. Well, we'll take care of it. Thank you. What your name is?
Dexter
What's your last name?
Morrison.
Morrison. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Little Ferry, New Jersey.
Okay. Well, thank you, Mr. Morrison. Have a good evening.
You'll help?
Yeah, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We'll go find them.
Dex without hesitation reaches out his hands to not sure if he's allowed to shake or not, but he's just
And people and he's like, nah.
thank you.
If these people are Nazis, don't worry about it. They won't be around for very long.
Dex is trying not to smile, like just a little bit of a, and works it into the thing. Thank you. You show them what for, young man.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Where did you get this stuff, if you don't mind me asking?
Why?
I want to do my part. She's my little girl. I want to do my part. I fought for this country. I was born here. People like this don't deserve space. And I am an old man, and you can see I can barely walk in here, and I'm a little too drunk. I know it. But I'm a goddamn American, and I'm going to do everything in my power to help you and the good people of this country. So I want to do my part. Is there anything I can do for you, sir?
Hold on. Are you telling me these Nazi lovers have this moonshine?
Yeah, this is where they get it from, and I thought you should know. Because if your people are drinking this moonshine, it's brainwashing them with the Nazi science.
Huh. I see.
Now, I'm not a fighter, but I can look into this for you. I'm a smart man. I worked from this industry. I gathered information for years.
Comes from a place, somebody I know gives it to me, but apparently he's also giving it to Nazis, and that I will not stand.
Can I take care of this for you?
In exchange for me taking care of your other problem?
Yes. Dex pulls out from his without like he's not he there's no hesitation. He pulls out the metal that was on his desk that was burned. This is mine. Dex hands it to Cohen. You have my word. I will take care of this.
He looks at his bodyguards, and he says, "Gentlemen, why don't all four of you go get me a drink for a moment? I gotta take care of this old guy who's maybe a little bit... Don't worry about it. Just give me something to drink. All of you." And the four gentlemen sort of, "Oh, yes, Mr. Cohen." And they all walk out. He leans into you, and he says, "You don't have to give me this medal, old man. You don't have to do it. Here, take your medal."
Sir, no, sir.
No,
sir.
take it back. It's yours. You earned it in the war. Take it.
Dex reaches out and just gently grabs it and stares at it.
All right, come closer. A little bit closer. All right, old man, listen to me. This is what we're gonna do. I've got a business associate who I trust, who I think is a good man, who is useful to me, who has abilities and skills. But this man, it seems like he might also be dealing with Nazis. But this man is seen as valuable by other people that I may work for. Do you know what I mean? So,
I believe I do, sir.
I will tell you where you can find this man. And I will take care of your problem with this cult who did something to your daughter. Then I am not involved in whatever happens to this man who is an asset. Something should befall him, and you have your problem fixed. Does that seem like that works for you?
Can I ask you one more thing? My daughter's name is Mary. If they did anything to her, kill every last one of those sons of bitches.
Don't worry about that. That won't be a problem. So, Mr. Morrison,
Yeah.
let me tell you. There's a man. His name is Roy. Roy Bedacht, right? He's a small-time old bootlegger. He does body shop work for people that I know. He's got a body shop. If there are cars that need to be, well, nonetheless, it's not that important. But thing about him is that he is very good at working his magic with alcohol. He brews that moonshine. He also has a special brew that can make you get amnesia. It's a special brew. Useful. Drink a little bit, lose your memories for like a couple of days, and, anyway. But if he has betrayed me, this man, that's not as useful anymore. So, I will tell you where to find him.
Yes.
Because it's better if somebody not connected to me. And you're not connected to me, right?
No, I am a simple man who moved to the West Coast looking for dreams after the war, and I lost everything.
And we never had this conversation, right?
What conversation?
All right. So, Mr. Morrison. Man, Roy Bedachti's got an auto body shop out by San Bernardino, right the edge of the Mojave Desert. Can't miss it. It's by an old oil derrick. You'll see it.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. I can't tell you what this means.
I'm gonna have fun. I'm gonna have fun.
Thank you, sir. This never happened.
No. All right, old man. You take care of that, and I'll take care of your problem.
Dex puts back on his shoe and stands up with a little bit of a limp.
And he comes to help you up, and as he helps you up, you're like, ooh, this guy. And you, in the war, you worked with boxers. This guy was a boxer. This guy's got the build of a boxer and the kind of the moves of a boxer. And he helps you up.
Thank you, young man.
It's all right. You might want to arm yourself with something. You don't look so good.
Oh, I can hold my own. Thank you.
Let me tell you something. Listen to me. This man was a very good asset, very useful, very valuable. But he betrayed me by dealing with people I don't like. And if you betray me, anyone betrays me, it isn't good. Do you understand my meaning?
Those words ring in Dex. Like he feels it, like he just feels waves come over him. The air is, his skin feels tighter. He feels like he's being compressed. He sits there. I understand.
Good. So, it's been a pleasure to meet you, Mr. Morrison.
It's been a pleasure to meet you as well. Dex stands up, kind of wobbles, turns, and pushes off of him a little bit, just like enough to, like, you know, that little bit of help that he's pretending, but he might actually need at this point. Dex stands up and kind of walks over. One of the guys brings the coffee, and he just kind of grabs it and thank you, and walks out the door with the cup of coffee in his hand.
And like his guards come back over, and you can hear him saying as you're leaving, you can hear him say, "Nah, he didn't need anything. It was nothing. It didn't go anywhere." And the guards are like, "Oh, all right, Mr. Cohen." As you walk out of the Brown Derby. And he's got this like little smile on his face. And he also has this sort of look in his eye that says he wants to kill some people.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll be fine, though.
I'm sure that look's in his eye often, too. So he might be fine with that. He might be accustomed to that look.
Yeah. He might often just want to kill people for fun.
Yeah, that's how they do it, I think.
Yeah, for fun and profit. Did you know, side note, Murder Incorporated, which was the group that Cohen and Siegel, all of them were involved, they killed over 1,000 people. There were like 4 or 5 of them.
I did not know that. That was a lot.
Yeah, they were the hitmen. They were like the official hitman group for the East Coast, the 5 families in the East Coast Mafia, and they killed over 1,000 people.
Yeah, I've had all the pictures of them off to the side of the screen over here, so I'm staring at them while we're having this conversation. Yeah. There's some really good pictures of them.
They were a piece of work.
Specifically, appears to be Mickey Cohen standing in front of newspapers that are just pasted over the about him. That is very intense. Anyway,
yeah. So you come out. The valet sees you. It's like, "1 second, sir," and rushes off. And it's not too long before he comes back in with that fancy yellow sports car that is not yours, drives it up, and opens the car door for you.
Dex gets in the car, and he's trying not to speak because he feels like he's going to vomit. And he doesn't know why. He hands like literally just pulls out any sum of money he has on him and just hands it to the kid.
And the kid looks like you give this kid like 2 quarters, and he's like, "Whoa, thanks, mister."
You're welcome. Now get out of here.
And he's just waiting for you to get in the car. He's so
Dex grabs the car grabs the door and just, I got it. Thank you. Hops in the car, drives off, bumps a little bit into the car in front of him.
There's like a honking.
Reverses, drives off.
Oh, you're such a good driver.
Yeah, it's going really well.
Where do you go?
I would like to go to San Bernardino.
You drive out. It's getting dark now, right? It's dark, and you're driving out towards the desert. And this is there's something really beautiful about the desert at night. And you can see the stars. And as you're driving, you head out, and you can see this old abandoned oil derrick in the distance, and you know that's where you're heading. And as you drive out there, it's probably maybe 2 miles. It's flat and there's nothing anywhere. And you can see in the distance a building.
Now, this is Dex kind of turns off the lights to the car. Pulls back to the side of the road and just sits there. Often kind of like a little slant, you know how you know how desert roads are.
Yeah.
Just sits there, looks at his pill bottle. Actually, for the first time, acknowledging that it is actually empty. Throws it out the car window. Sits back. I would like to inspect the car to see if there was any weapons left over from the Nazi. Like if like something under the seats or in the trunk.
What are you thinking about?
A gun just to be safe, but at this point, Dex knows something's wrong with him. Like Dex is rapidly becoming aware that there is something physiologically and psychologically going on with him that he can't control, because sitting in the front seat with him the entire time he is driven to this desert was someone that doesn't exist anymore.
What's your you can have a gun for a push.
Okay, I would like to spend a push.
If you spend a push for me, I will get rid of that push for you.
Done.
That's a preparedness push, by the way. You spend that push for me, and you search this car, and you go into the back, you go into the trunk. It's the first time you've gone into the trunk at all. You open up the trunk, and in the trunk, you see a pistol. Not too big, right? Big enough. But you also see manila folders with numbers on them. 1, 2, 3. Sort of this big. Just a series of manila folders. And also you see, you see, and then like some envelopes.
I would like to investigate those. In order. 1, 2, 3.
You open up the envelopes, and in the trunk and in each envelope, there's a set of photographs and negatives. And the first one you see is a woman, blonde, beautiful, and these photographs are being taken from outside of a window. And this woman is she's making love to another woman. They're sort of with each other, and they're smiling and happy. And there are these photographs he's taken outside of this window. And there's the negatives. And then in the next envelope, there's a picture of Marshall Daly. And you see him, and you have photographs outside of a window of him and Helen Deacon. And they're the negatives. And then you can see these photographs of Marshall Daly, and you see him outside of a window again. These photographs are taken. It seems to be a house, like some kind of home. And you see a number of people inside that home, and they're all talking. right? There are a number of people there. You see him and a couple, like some women, some men, and they're all having some kinds of conversation. And then the next envelope is one of the other people in that meeting being followed. Photographs of that person. And the other person in that meeting being followed. Photographs of that person. And then you see photographs of Helen being followed. Photographs of her with Phil Block coming out of a hotel room. And then you see photographs of Helen with Whitey Alexander coming out of a hotel room. And it looks to you, looking at all of this is all of his blackmail material. And it looks like he's following all of the people at this meeting, which you assume is some sort of communist meeting. But it also seems like he likes to take photographs of people in indelicate situations. Like, there's a lot of just sort of creepy, like, voyeuristic, like, stalkeriness in all of these photographs with all of these negatives, right? And it's just like there's like 10 or 12 of these envelopes of different people that he has been following and stalking.
Dex reaches into the trunk, pulls out the gun, checks it, opens it up, takes a look at it. Everything in working order?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Puts the gun into his pocket right here. Dex picks up the envelopes, holds them up, makes sure it gets them all from the side across the edge, the tips, holding it just so it accumulates the most fire, holds them together, uses it to light one last cigarette. And just sets it on the ground to watch it burn.
And all those photographs, all of these people just living their lives, all of that blackmail material and the negatives just go up in smoke. And you watch them, and you can smell, right, the smell of photograph paper and chemicals as it burns. But it doesn't take too long before it's all gone. Right there on the edge of the desert in the sand, right? All the photographs that this guy took are gone, and the negatives curling in the firelight. And there you are, in the desert, this old abandoned oil derrick off in a small building.
Dex walks around to the front of the car after closing the hood, puts his hand on the cold door, feels it, cold and smooth, feels the mechanism as soon as he gives the slightest pull, feels the give. He could feel the gears inside the door opening. It's not lost on him for some reason.
And you notice the cigarette burn in the upholstery that you put there just the day before when you were threatening Franz Spielmann, and you just noticed that little cigarette burn marring the otherwise beautiful yellow leather.
Dex licks his finger a little bit and just kind of rubs the burn, seeing if he can just feeling the damage, feeling his damage. He sits down. The ignition's on. Keeps the lights off. Takes one big drag of a cigarette. And the only light that you can see from the car is just the burning flame of the tip of the cigarette as he drives.
You head closer into this building. And you drive out. Now you're in a dirt road. You pull into this building, and it's an old body shop. You know, and it's got that corrugated metal roof on it. It's 1.5 stories, probably. I mean, it's like 2. It's like a tall building. But it's small, right? It's not a big building. It's just like you've got these sort of large doors where cars would come in and come out. And you've got a small side wooden door on the side. And there's probably enough space. I mean, you're thinking probably with this kind of a building, there's probably an apartment upstairs where the person probably lives. It's not a good one. Probably less nice than your fancy apartment. But here you are, right? This is that place right in the kind of on the edge of nowhere. And it looks, all the lights are out. It looks empty and abandoned and alone. It looks deserted.
Dex has a really, he can feel in his throat still the moonshine. He doesn't know why he can still taste it. He can taste the feeling that he had. It's almost like he could smell it. Like, when when you drink something, when you drink an alcoholic drink and it makes you sick. All you can smell is that. Yeah. Every time they open the bottle. But Dex wants that again. He wants it. He wants that feeling. He wants to know what that was.
The wind's blowing, and in your mouth, you've got like some of the dust of the desert in your mouth. And this whole place is dusty everywhere. And it would be nice to have something to drink. It's dry.
Dex reaches into his pocket, pulls out the moonshine. Twists off the top.
You can smell it.
Burns the eyes, burns the sinuses. Dex takes a big gulp.
Oh, and it burns. Maybe it's a clarifying burn, but it goes right down your esophagus and it just warms you up. Because now it's night in the desert and it's getting cold. It's cold. The temperature's dropped. And that moonshine just warms you up a little bit. Whew. And you can just see the faded painted letters, Roy Badoc's Body Shop.
Dex goes around to the back. Are there any windows that he can look through or peek in, or is it just completely sealed? That metal.
Yeah, it's all sealed, but there's a door back there as well.
Dex just gently touches the lock, not enough to make that much of a noise because he's aware of the sound it could make and how quiet it is out here. So Dex kind of gives the handle a little jiggle. Just
it's locked, but the lock is not a great lock. This is not a modern, high-tech sort of a thing. You don't think it would be very difficult for you to pick this lock at all. You have lock picking.
Yeah. Dex reaches into his pocket, pulls out a safety pin, and looks around for like a metal, finds a kind of a smashed metal screw, and just kind of tweaks it around a little bit, as quiet as he can.
Doesn't take you too long, and you get that satisfying click. You press the door open, and inside, it's quiet. It's empty. And you see, it's dim. There are no lights on. So you see a car, dented inside. You see some kind of mechanism, perhaps, sort of maybe your height, tall as a person, that's covered in a drop cloth. So you don't know really what it is. There's a desk with papers inside. There seems to be, you think, like a loft, maybe for an apartment upstairs. And if you go in, you see what looks like a gibbet, like a metal cage with a flat bottom, big enough to hold a person. And this cage is on a winch that seems to be connected to another mechanism that would perhaps lower it into what looks like there's presumably a hole, but it's covered, right? This thing looks like it, sort of like an elevator, a makeshift elevator, which will take you down below this garage.
Yeah. Dex kind of cautiously steps forward. He takes the knife that he had in his left shoe. Pulls it out, slips it into his sleeve on his right hand. Walks over to the mechanism. Is it fairly easy to figure out how to use it?
Well, you can't see it because it's covered in the drop cloth, so you don't know what it is.
Oh, okay.
It's underneath this cloth, which makes it look strange and creepy, you know? Because it's all covered.
It looks like a giant figure, essentially, in the dark.
Yeah.
Dex grabs the cloth and slowly pulls it down.
As you slowly pull this cloth down, you reveal a moonshine still. This seems to be where the moonshine is made, and you see next to the still one or two more jars with this cramped handwriting, but it's today's date.
Dex knows that means someone's possibly here right now.
And then you hear something. You hear a sound, a sort of a... coming from the trunk of the dented Nash Rambler.
Dex feels his heart beating, pounding in his chest. He walks over to it. This is not a feeling that Dex has felt before. This is pure paranoia. This is fear. What is this sound? What is there? Dex knows he should not look any further into this.
Oh, but you're curious, aren't you?
He's very curious. He walks over, opens it, slowly.
And the trunk makes the door makes a slight creak as you open up that trunk, and inside you see a body. It's Burl, or you think it's Burl? It's really hard to tell, because what you really see is the pulsing brain matter that's sort of visible through this gash, this fracture in his skull, and his face is puffy and swollen, and he's bleeding everywhere all over his body, and it looks as if you can barely recognize him. You really only mostly recognize him because you remember his suit and his build, but whoever did this worked him over really badly, and I need you to make a stability check. It's an advance of 11.
Okay, so I have 2, but I also have a negative disability right now.
You do have a -2. There is an extra problem if you'd like it, but you can decide that after you roll if you want.
I think I'm gonna try to roll first. I need an 11, correct?
Yes, you do. Ooh.
That's 6. That's a good start.
That's a good start.
And a 3. Bad end though.
That's a 9. What would you like? Would you like the extra problem?
I will take an extra problem.
Let me get you an extra problem. You... Here, let me pull this over. Are going to take the extra problem cold-blooded. Why don't you read that to us?
You maintain your sanity by cutting off your empathy for others. When you spend a push on a reassurance, roll a die. on an odd result, you do not gain the benefit of the push. You discard this card.
Okay. You have one more die.
Six.
Okay. That, my friend, is a full advance. Which, by the way, gets rid of your paranoia.
Oh.
That is done. You, it's not pretty, what you see. It's actually really awful, and it makes you a little bit sick to your stomach.
Yeah.
But, you know what? You were in the war, and you have seen this thing before, this sort of business. You can handle this. And you get the edge. Gallows humor.
Is he...
Will you read us your edge?
Oh, yes. Gallows humor. What shocks and repulses other prompts you to crack wise. Make a dark wisecrack appropriate to any scene, then discard this card for a free push on any interpersonal ability. That'll be
He
useful.
does not look like he's going to live very long. It
Dex
doesn't look good for him at all.
Dex walks over and grabs a tire iron or whatever, something heavy and metal, and just kind of looks away for a second, but then looks directly at him. Looks at the eyes, looks at the face, what's left of it. Stares directly at him and just stabs it right through his head.
And you kill him. He wasn't going to live long anyway, and he was suffering. And then, do you know what? I need you to make a sense trouble roll.
Okay.
I need you... This is an advance of a 13.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
Okay. 2.
And you have a +1 to your sense trouble.
Oh, I do?
Yeah.
Awesome.
8.
9.
Yeah.
+1, right?
So you don't make the advance, but you make the hold.
Okay, that's fine.
So you have just stabbed Burl in the head with this tire iron. And you're standing there as he just, lets out his last gasp. And you hear it right behind you. There is someone right behind you. And you move just quickly enough as a wrench clips you in the side of the head, but it does not knock you out. You turn around and there is a man. And he is in a dirty overalls, and the overalls are greasy, and he himself has got this scraggly beard, and he's got this kind of strange, jagged, nasty snaggle teeth, and his hair is a little bit odd, and he has got this wrench, and he is coming at you, and he's like, and he comes at you with this wrench. This will be, my friend, will be a fighting test.
Okay, what do I need to beat?
You need a 13, but I will note you have that edge. You can spend it for an extra die.
I will spend that. I just rolled a 1. I'm going to spend that.
That is fair. That is fair.
Okay, so here we go. Mm-hmm. There's a 6.
Yeah. You have one more.
And a 2.
That's a, what is that, a 9?
8. 9, yeah.
That's a 9.
Wait, 8. 8 or 9. I don't know math.
You're like, I don't know math. So he comes at you with this wrench, this creepy, and it's dark in here, so he looks strange and a little bit sinister in this weird light that he's got. I want you to tell me how you overpower him as he comes at you with this wrench.
Dex quickly gets out of his jacket, lets the wrench come to him, ties the jacket around the guy's hands, gets it over his face, and kicks him in the kneecap.
You kick him in the kneecap, and he goes down, right? He's on the floor, and he tries to scramble to find something, but you are over him.
Dex puts his foot on the back of his neck and puts his knife that he had in his sleeve to the guy's ear, right up by the eye, right here, right where Dex's scar is.
Mm-hmm.
Puts it right here and digs it in a little bit at essentially the temple.
Don't hit me.
Who the fuck are you?
Sorry.
You don't sound that sorry. Stabs it. What are you doing here?
This is my garage. This is my garage.
Roy? Roy?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
What happened to this guy?
He got in trouble.
Dex slides his foot past the neck, but then drops the knee on the back of his neck. Does he have any hair?
He's got like, he's balding a little bit on top, but he's grown his hair out a little bit, and it's like a little bit, it's like, there's certainly enough to grab.
Yeah. Dex, since it's a shorter bit of hair, Dex will kind of wrap his fingers around and twist it. And pull his head, so basically the head's up, but the knees in the back of the neck, and the knives right here. Listen, what are you doing here? I get this is your garage. What are you doing here?
It's a secret.
Listen, you want to keep secrets? That's fine, but you're not going to keep most of your face. So why don't you give me some answers?
It's below. It's below.
What's below?
The secret.
Take me there.
I can't.
Why?
Okay, I'll take you there.
Dex does not get up. He does sit up, or stand up with the majority of the weight on the back of the neck. Mm-hmm. Dex pulls out his gun. Dex, with his one hand, stomps on stomps on Roy's wrist. Holds his foot on that wrist, and then stomps on the other wrist. Not enough to break it, but enough to render them pretty much unusable.
Yeah.
Get up. Dex has a gun. He cocks it.
And he sort of like gets up, and he's like, I can bring you there. Don't kill me.
I need to know the secret. What are you doing here?
And he like points to the cage. He's like, that will take you down below. I can operate the machinery.
Dex gestures to him to go first.
And
with the gun.
The cage will only fit one person. Mm-hmm. And next, like close to the cage, there's the machinery that will operate the winch. And he's like, I will lower you down. I will.
How can I trust you?
You have the gun.
And you don't really have hands, so it's got to be kind of hard for you to operate, huh?
I can hit the button.
There's a little bit of blood trickling down from the side of Dex's face. It's not his blood. But Dex does have the taste. The mason jar has spilled. Dex's jacket is off. Dex does not have any of his pad and paper. He has nothing on him at this point but the gun and the knife.
And the man shuffles over to this gibbet.
Yeah.
And he, like, it's hard for him to do it, but he opens up the cage. And it's, it's tight. It's not that big, but it's got a flat bottom. And he says, that will take you to my secret.
How do I get back up?
I'll be here.
You better. Dex gets in the elevator.
And the guy closes the door. And then he locks it and presses the button. And he's like, and the bottom opens. And it just starts lowering. And he goes,
Dex shoots off one bullet before he falls.
It's a slow move. It is a slow moving winch.
Okay. I thought it was just dropping.
It is not a drop. It is slow. It's just like.
Okay.
And he starts laughing.
Shut up.
And then he moves away to the Nash Rambler.
Yeah.
And he pulls out a hacksaw. And he pulls out Burl's hand. Burl's hand. And he's got this look on his face. And he walks over to you, and like you're slowly being lowered, and he throws this hand at your face, and you're spattered with Burl's blood. And he goes, "You'll find out the secret! You'll find out the secret!" And you're just slowly lowering in this cage down below, and below you it's all darkness. Got in the cage! Got in the cage! So, what do you want to know? I'll tell you everything, because you won't remember anyway. You won't remember. What do you want to know?
What are you making here?
I'm not making anything, really. Just some moonshine. What?
Who are you making it for?
Oh, I'm making it for the mobsters. They like it. I used to make it back... Oh, you hurt my wrists. I used to make it back in Prohibition, and they like it, so I make it for them. You
Dex
hurt me.
Dex is literally blood is pouring out of his mouth a little bit. He's coughing up a little blood. He has
And
blood
Burl's hands on the floor of this gibbet.
Just there, blood is splattered onto him. Dex, what's in the moonshine?
Nothing. That's the funny part.
What do you mean, nothing?
There's nothing in the moonshine. I just told them that. I figured I'd tell them it's moonshine. That's the special secret, but it's not. Moonshine doesn't do that. My friends do that. My friends do that.
Dex falls down to a knee. Who are the mobs?
No, my special friends. My secret friends. The friends the mob, they don't know.
Stop speaking in riddles! Dex holds the gun.
And you start going lower and lower. And the gibbet hits the bottom of what is a cavern. You are in some sort of underground cave. You can still see him up there. It's not that far up. And he's cackling. He's like, my friends, see, they love me, my friends. And I can use them to dispose of bodies, to dispose of your mind if you know too much. And I said I would give my services to my friend Mickey Cohen. But I didn't want him to know that I had friends, because they might want to take my friends away from me. And no one can take my friends away from me. So I told him it was moonshine. Get rid of nosy people, people who cause too much trouble, people who are inconvenient. They think it's moonshine. But it's not. It's my friends. And soon you will see my friends. And then you notice, down the tunnel, you see a strange, writhing mass, perhaps? Figures, multiple figures, a dozen figures moving forward, coming closer to you. And as they start shambling towards you, moving closer, you start to get a sense. You can see their faces. They have faces. Their skin is like rubber. It doesn't look natural at all. They've got no hair, but their faces are like snouts of beasts, and they've got these long tusks, and they move in a way as which their joints don't seem to fit the way that human beings move at all. And they start coming towards you, undulating, perhaps sort of like a manta ray through the water, but they just start coming towards you, and then they are sniffing, and they then throw themselves towards this cage, facing towards you, just battering themselves, trying to reach you, trying to get into this cage to get you. And I need you to make a stability roll, my friend.
Okay. What do I need to beat?
You need a 9.
That's a 3.
Mm-hmm.
And a 1.
That's a 4. Which is a hold and not a setback. So these creatures, whatever they are, they don't seem in any way natural. They start clamoring with their claws, slathering just saliva, and they come at you, and these things are inches from your face, and they are hungry. And you almost lose your mind. It would be so much easier to not be here anymore, to just stop being here. But you remember someone from your past. Your brother?
Dexter?
And you remember him. And if you lost everything now, you could never find out what happened to him. That mystery has not been solved, what happened to your brother. And you cannot let go of your mind right now. You need to stay here so that you can find out what happened to your brother. You keep your mind intact as these creatures claw and clamor at you, and above you, that man, Roy Bedacht, is dancing. He's cackling and laughing, and he's like, you are going to lose your mind. Ow, my wrists. But you know what? Nothing is going to stop me. And he's laughing, and he's just waiting for you to lose your mind. And he laughs, and he laughs, and these creatures batter against the cage you're in. Batter. They cannot reach you. They cannot get you, but they keep trying. They keep trying. And you can see their faces coming at you. But you have kept your sanity. What do you do?
Dex pushes his body back to the back of this, far back of the cage as possible. Pulls out the gun. Shoots at directly between the eyes. Into the eyes of anything that moves.
Your shot goes wild, and he goes, no, not my friends. And you hit one right in the middle of the face, and it goes down. And the other ones back up a little bit. And they sort of start creeping forward. And Roy's like, no. You won't stay long. You won't last long. There are more of them than you. You shoot again.
Pull the trigger again at the closest one.
You shoot it. It goes down. And the shots reverberate in this cave. They're loud. They echo everywhere. And then you can hear the shuffling of more of them. And you can hear him cackling above you.
When the muzzle goes off, can I see anything down here aside from more?
When the muzzle goes off, you notice for a moment strange hieroglyphs on the walls. But then they're gone. But you know they're carved into the sides of the walls, and you know he's up there laughing at you, just waiting for you to lose your mind. You know it. They always get them.
I'll keep killing them! Do you want me to kill all your friends?
You can't kill them all. You can't kill them all. And besides, soon you'll lose your mind and you won't even want to. It'll happen.
Dex kills one more.
One, you shoot it, it goes down, and the creatures howl. And then batter themselves against your cage.
How many are on the cage?
I'd say there are probably about 8 or 9. But they can't reach you. You're covered in blood, but you're not injured.
Is there a way to get into the cage or get out of the cage?
They can't get in. You could get out. Like, he locked the door, but you could get out.
Is there... How sturdy is this cage?
He clearly did it himself. It's pretty sturdy. You don't think they will be able to get through this cage at all.
Could I tip it?
It's hooked up to the winch, so no.
Damn it.
And he's dancing upstairs.
Dex pulls out his knife in his left hand and his gun in the other hand, in the right hand.
And he's just leaning over the pit, sort of holding on to that winch chain, leaning over, looking at you, laughing. And he's just waiting. You can see in his eyes, he's waiting for something.
Dex shoots the one closest to the door, unlocks the door, rushes out, and stabs one directly in the face.
I am going to need you to make a fighting check.
Fighting?
Mm-hmm. Okay. This is a 14.
14. Fuck.
Yeah. But you do have your quick reactions.
Yes. Okay, so 3. Oof. 2. That's a 5.
You can use your edge for one more.
I would like to use my edge. 5.
That's a 10.
10 or 8. I forgot what the first one was. I'm bad.
2, 3, 5.
Yeah.
And you can take an extra problem.
I'll take an extra problem. This seems like the right time to take a problem.
Yeah, this would be a time to take that extra problem.
Oh my god.
Roll for me, my friend.
Okay. Here we go. That is a 1.
They start swarming you as you stab at them. They start coming all... And now he's upset that you've gotten out of this cage.
Yeah.
But then you see that he sees that you attack them and he just laughs. He thinks it's hilarious. As you stab one and they start overwhelming you. They start scratching at you. And one, like, just... You can feel its claws go right into your gullet. And then, when they see that you're not doing anything more to them, they howl in frustration and anger. And they're howling at Roy up there.
Yeah.
And then one of them sniffs. And you see it leave you, go around and grab the hand in the cage. And the other ones see that it has this hand. And they crabble after it, grabbing it and like gnawing at it, and they take the hand and they start slinking back into the depths of this cavern. You, however, are not doing well. This is your problem.
Yeah. Mortal wound. You just took an injury that cooked your goose for good. You have maybe an hour left to tie up loose ends. Then you're dead.
And you're bleeding. You're bleeding heavily. And Roy sees this and he goes, losing your mind would have been easier, but this will do. And
hey,
he presses
Roy.
the button. He looks and he goes, what?
Why don't you come down here and say it to my face, you piece of shit?
And he presses the button with his elbow. And the winch starts coming back up. leaving you in the darkness of this cave. He's written you off. He figures you're dead. And the doors shut. And you're in this cave, alone and bleeding. And Roy thinks that he is won. You've got about an hour.
Dexter pushes himself to the wall and just kind of he feels there are things underneath him, but it's too dark to feel. It's wet and it's sticky and it's also there's sand and it's dry.
And you notice something. I need you to make a stability roll. No, you don't need that. For this, you don't need it. You look around. There are bones in here. A lot of bones.
Dex is trying to get the lighter to get any bit of light, but the blood's just coating it.
There are the remains of dozens of human beings down here. All picked clean. You don't know how many people are have been down here, but there are a lot. And it looks like not just recent, but for a long time.
Dex turns off the lighter and just kind of...
And you can feel the blood just going down your pants.
Pooling warmth just sticking to my leg.
And those
popping up
things...
a little bit in his mouth.
They went that direction. That's where they came from. And the tunnel goes that way and then the other way.
Dex looks at his gun. He's only got like 2 bullets left, maybe tops.
Mm-hmm.
Tries to pull himself to his feet against the wall. Does he recognize any of the markings on the wall?
I need a stability check. 9.
Okay. Need a 9.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, first roll. 3.
Mm-hmm.
Second roll. 3.
Would you like an extra problem?
I mean, I'm already going to die, so let's take it. Let's take it.
Would you like it? All right.
You're going to super die. That's the next card.
Give me one more roll.
Okay. A 6.
Nice. Read your new problem.
Tremor. You acquire a gross motor tremor that affects you in times of stress. -2 penalty on all general/manual challenges.
Mm-hmm.
And that when Dex realizes the symbol, his arm just tenses up. It just twitches, and he feels this sharp shooting pain in his dominant right hand, and he drops the gun.
And
it feels like he cannot. He's trying to move it, and it just burns.
But you advance, and as you look at these symbols carved into the walls, the ones that you remembered from your mind in that memory when you drank that moonshine, it's like some other being's mind reaches out to yours, and you can read all of the symbols. They go from being unknown to known. And they tell of an ancient civilization of non-humans that... No, that's crazy. That's not true. And you suppress that thought. Whatever it was, you don't know it. You'll never understand those carvings, and that's fine. And you get one last edge.
Well, the Dex shakes off his hand. It's still numb, but it's not as responsive as it was. He picks up the gun heavy in his right arm, and just kind of with all of his force, with his other arm using it, just kind of hold it up a little bit. And he goes through the other way, the way that they didn't come from.
You travel that way a bit. It's not too long, although you're still bleeding. And you come to the end of this tunnel, and it takes you out into the oil field. And you're right there by that derrick. In the desert. It's not too far from your car. If you don't want to die, you need to leave and get to the hospital.
So I am outside now.
You are.
Dex crawls to the car. He is stumbling down the thing. Like it's the sand feels a little bit heavier, cold, and it's not. He knows it's not that cold. The desert gets cold at night, but it's not that cold.
And there's a streak of blood from where you were crawling along.
He can feel the sand inside of his wounds. It's sticking to him, and it's bloody. He gets to the car door. He puts his hand on the door, blood covering the nice yellow. It reflected in the moonlight. He feels the weight of the door and the click. Opens it. Steps inside. Sits down back in the chair, resting the cold gun on his head. Looks at the long road in the background in the rearview mirror. He feels like he's hungry. He could really go for some regular toast, some French toast, some eggs, some turkey bacon, or some turkey sausage, and a few strips of bacon, crisp, some grits, maybe some grits, maybe some orange juice and some grapefruit juice and some cranberry juice. Oh, and a cup of coffee. Nice, dark cup of coffee. He should call up Ricky. Ricky would buy him a nice cup of coffee at this time. Dex's scar is throbbing a little bit. He's got to make it to his goddaughter's party. Because you don't get to be a kid for that long.
No.
You don't get to be a kid for that long, you know? It's there, and sometimes it goes quicker. Sometimes it takes 20 to 18 to 30 years. Sometimes it takes 7. Sometimes you never get to figure out.
And you hear Mom calling you home for dinner, you and your brother. You have to decide, will you stay here or will you go?
Is my brother there? Is Dexter there?
You don't know. You haven't found him yet.
Dex sees his one of his torn pieces of paper that kind of fell out of his purse in there. It says Margaret Deacon. He can hear his brother. His brother Dexter calling his name. He's saying, Casey. Casey. Do the right thing. Dex gets out of the car, goes to the back, pops the trunk, gets any remaining bullets that is in the back there, loads the gun, pulls himself up, straps whatever he can to stop the bleeding, takes his tie off, wraps it around him, and makes his way to the front door.
It's wooden. It's a little old. You can hear inside Roy cackling.
Dex would like to use preparedness to figure out where he might be in the room based off the laughter.
You don't even need to. You know where he is.
Yeah.
Thinking about where it is, he's right. You'd think he's in because here's the thing. You cannot forget anything about what has happened tonight. You know every inch of that warehouse, of that body shop. He's in 10 feet and then 3 feet to the left. Right by the edge of that pit.
Dex looks up at the moon, takes a deep breath, and just says a few words. The only word that if anyone were around him would be able to hear is "I'll see you soon." Dex kicks in the door, pulls the gun, shoots him right in the leg, shoots him in the other leg, walks over, grabs his hand, holds the gun to his head. Dex smashes him in the teeth with the butt of the gun.
And his yellowed teeth crackle underneath the butt of the gun.
What are those? Don't say you're friends. Don't say anything. Tell me exactly what I want to know.
And he mumbles, but it's hard for him to speak because you just smashed in his teeth.
Dex grabs him by the head and throws him down.
Where do you throw him?
I throw him into the cage.
You throw him into the cage.
His knees are bloody.
Yeah.
He is sitting there. And is there enough space? Is the space only big enough so the cage can lower? It's
a little bit bigger. Like it's a little bit wider than the cage itself.
Dex, with you said there's a vehicle there, right?
There's there's a car.
A car.
With Burl's dead body.
Dex pushes him there, locks the cage. Goes to the car. Where is the gas located in the car?
Back left.
Back left. Goes to the back left side. Pops open the gas tank.
Mm-hmm.
Grabs any tube that might have been used to make the moonshine.
Oh,
siphons some fuel.
Yeah.
Spits it out everywhere. Spews it out.
Yeah.
Gets it all over the ground.
Yeah. And he starts howling.
You think your friends are going to be friendly with you when you're down there?
No.
No.
Who will feed them?
Your body's going to feed them. You need to answer me one thing. I'll make sure they're fed if you tell me who is the Order of the Argent Light and what do they have to do with this.
I don't know them.
You're giving them moonshine. You're giving them poison.
I never gave them anything.
What? Assess honesty.
That's true.
What?
They never had any moonshine.
There was a girl who went missing. Her name is Helen. Do you know Helen?
Yes.
Where do you know Helen from?
Mickey told me to make her mind go, so I did.
Why did Mickey want her mind to go?
Because she knew too much. She was embarrassing them. She wanted Mr. Siegel to move too fast, and he didn't want to move, so she made a scene. So they erased her mind so she couldn't speak. They sent her to me. I took care of it.
Whose blood was that on her?
Someone's, anyone's. I kill people all the time. To feed my friends. But they won't come if you're alive, unless there's blood. Dead blood. Dead blood. Dead.
Dex kind of falls down, just holding his head, trying to wrap his mind around all of this. He pushes himself back up, goes to the trunk of the car, grabs some brain matter, opens the door, and just rubs it in his face. In Roy's face. Gets some in his mouth. And just punches him, but it's weak because his hand isn't working. Just punches him as hard as he can. Goes back to the trunk, reaches into the pockets of Braun or Burl. Presses the button. Lights a cigarette.
And the doors descend, and the cage starts descending slowly as he howls, and you can hear in response the howls of the ghouls as they start scrambling towards what they hope will be a delicious meal.
So I see the fire, or I see the gasoline leading to the moonshine rig. Is there a phone nearby?
There is. Oh yes. He's got a phone on his desk.
Dex walks over. His fingertips are tingling. Dex is Casey. Casey can feel the life draining from his fingers. He can feel the memory of his brother. His brother disappeared. They never found out what happened to him. The memory's not important anymore. The move from Michigan to LA, none of that matters. There's only one thing that matters, and that's a promise he made to a woman who needed help. Dex shakes. He's just trembling, partially loss of blood, but also a little emotional. Smokes the cigarette.
And there's gasoline everywhere. And you can smell the gasoline.
He puts the cigarette as far away as possible, leaving it sitting on an ashtray.
You can also smell all the alcohol. This whole place is very flammable.
He picks up the phone. Then he dials Ricky's number.
Ricky picks up. Vargas residence.
Is your refrigerator running?
Dex.
Hey, Ricky.
It's running. So, I got the word back.
Ricky. Ricky, I need you to do me a favor.
Sure.
I need you to remember everything I'm going to tell you. Because, remember that case under my bed?
Yeah.
With the mystery novels for the little girl.
Yeah. Dex, are you okay? Where are you?
I'm going to need you to go through there tomorrow. Grab some of that. I'm also going to need you to tell her I'm not going to make it.
Dex, where are you?
The Mojave Desert.
Where? Where are you, Dex?
Listen. Dex is using every bit of his power to piece together his brain and the thoughts and try to remember when is what and what's happening. The girl, Helen, she knew too much. Mickey Cohen. Mickey Cohen sent her to this man. He takes care of business for her. He has a shop out in San Bernardino. Roy Badak.
I'm writing this down.
He's doing something to the bodies out here. There's some stuff that you're not going to believe, and you need to trust me. I saw it with my eyes. There's not going to be any evidence of this. This whole place is burning down with me in it.
Dex, no, where are you?
I'm at Roy Baddock's body shop. You can look it up. It's in the phone book. Maybe. Mickey Cohen knows. Don't get involved with him. You have to tell Helen. You have to tell Margaret. You have to tell Margaret that her sister was in too deep. She's safe. She just lost her memory. Get her help. Go to some doctors. You gotta find something.
Dex.
Hey, Ricky. I mean it. You're not only the best cop I ever worked with, you're my best friend. And I'm sorry I was such a dick. I'm sorry I was such a dick. I can feel... I can't feel a lot right now. I can't feel my legs, and I just need you to know you're one of the good ones, and you need to make sure Margaret and Helen Deacon are taken care of, okay?
I'm driving out there.
Don't. I don't know what's gonna happen. Bring help if you come. There's a basement. Make sure you're armed if anything survives. Ricky, tell Ava I love her.
I'm coming to get you, Dex.
Don't blame yourself if you're too late. I love you. And then Ricky hangs up, or Casey hangs up the phone.
And the cage is already at the bottom, and you can hear the ghouls clattering and clamoring. And howls.
Well. Betty would have loved this story. Dex wheels his chair. It's a rolling chair. Dex wheels his chair over to the fire, over to the gas, over to the flammable material. Takes one big drag, rests his arm on the chair, and just sits there. Because he knows he's not long. He knows sooner or later he's going to drop that cigarette. It's cold. Can he hear anything? His sight's going.
He can hear the sound of the wind blowing through the corrugated metal and that sort of small whistle that happens. He can hear the beautiful sounds of the desert, and it's pleasant and it's nice. And then he can hear the sounds of flesh being ripped down below.
And I think to myself, oh. Dex, his hand starts to slip. The cigarette falls out. But before he does, before it falls out, before he can feel anything, there's just a hand. Just touches his hand, takes it. And he squeezes it. And he knows it's going to be fine. Because in the end, he solved one big damn mystery.
And the cigarette drops. And the gasoline catches fire. And the flame shoots out in all directions. And then it hits the still. And there's an explosion that rocks above and below. In the tunnels below, there was more and more supplies, and there the boom could be heard for miles. In the time that came afterwards, Whitey Alexander went missing. No one knows what happened to him. But Bugsy Siegel is running the Allegria. He's moved in. Whitey Alexander's out. Guy McAfee accepted it. There were books to prove that Whitey Alexander was cheating on him. Bugsy Siegel's now in Los Angeles. The days of the syndicate, who knows how long they're there for. But with Whitey Alexander gone, Marshall Daly can come out of hiding. He can get back to work. Helen Deacon. The moment the cave was exploded, she started. She's still not the same person she was before, but she's talking. She's communicating, and maybe in a couple of years, as time goes on and the memories that were running through her head of being locked in that cage and that tunnel with the ghouls slavering at her trying to murder her, at time perhaps that memory will fade some. It'll never completely go away, but she'll go back to being somewhat the vivacious young woman that she was before. Margaret knows that you did something for her, that you solved the case in some way. The police swarm that area. There are stories of Roy Badach, the serial killer who murdered dozens of people going back at least 10 years. And there are the remains in the cave. The story is sort of spun that he himself did all of this murder, but the caves themselves end up being sealed off by the government and no one goes back in there again. There is a story on one page of a massacre at this New Age temple, the Order of the Argent Light, where Clara Nabel and a couple of her acolytes were found murdered, and no one knows who did it, but it was brutal. And a number of the sort of rich and famous who would go there for their palm readings are sort of scandalized and horrified, but that place is no longer a church. And a young kid, Tommy Gargan, who used to go and play dice in the alley, remembers that old guy at Dex who gave him a beer once with his friends. He goes to school. He's okay. He's a little bit less of a tearaway. Ricky misses his friend. And he always thinks about Dex. And it's a few months later, after all of this is settled, he quits his job in the LAPD and he moves into Dex's office. And he sets up as a private eye where he doesn't have to deal with the syndicate or the mob, and he can just be an honest man. And that ends the story of Dex Raymond and the Fathomless Sleep.
If Ricky goes into the secret compartment in my desk,
Yes.
which he'll find eventually, he's a clever boy, he will be able to see my big book of mysteries that I haven't solved.
And he goes to try to find out whatever happened to young Dexter Raymond, your little brother. And he looks at that book of mysteries and he keeps it close.
I'm not crying, you're crying.
Thank you so much, everyone who stayed here with us for the end. I know we ran a little bit long, but we wanted to finish it. Thank you so much for being here, everyone. This was amazing. This was amazing. We have some donations that I feel like we should read.
I have it set up. I have it right here. I'm good. I'm not gonna.
You're fine. You're bleeding out a little bit.
I have fake blood all over me, and I am sticky, and I am actually like half of those symptoms, by the way, were just happening to me. Like my hand was just tingling. I was just shaking for a while.
Oh.
So let's go through these donations.
Please do. These are our supporters.
Thank you so much for all of your support, for watching this and all this. You guys are absolutely lovely. Let's go to this store where we find the thing. 4 hours ago from Will and TW for $10. Thanks for this awesome show. Can't wait to see how this story ends. Whew. Greeny, thank you so much for the bits. Let's see what else we have. Gifted subs, thank you so much. Sal for $4.31. What do I have to roll to stare awestruck into the abyss? The next one is from Deceptive Mirror for $15. A little ditty for Dex's pet cockroach. Oh, Davy boy, the shoes are calling. Having so much fun with this show. Thank you, Deceptive Mirror, so much. The next one is from, we got another one in. Holy hell. Sal, again for $5. At least you made it out with your mind mostly intact. That means you won. I've solved one mystery. I did fine. And this one is from Iffy. It's the newest donation from Iffy. Let me refresh to make sure it unloaded somehow. Why? Okay. No, it's gone. Iffy for wait, no, it's gone. Wait, it's back. It's back. Hold on. Nope, it's gone. Iffy for $15. Something very nice. I feel like it's not showing up now. I'm sorry. I'm a little bit of an emotional wreck at the moment, and I can't do tech difficulties. Thank you so much, Iffy, for it's not loading. $15. I'm so sorry. Let me see if I can.
I think it's Cthulhu.
Cthulhu stopped it. It's always Cthulhu's fault. Yeah, it's not popping up. It's not loading anymore. There's a new version of this thing. I have to update the laptop. I have to update the laptop to see this. That's what's happening. Great. Thank you so much, Iffy, for the donation. I feel like you said it was awesome or that you had a great time, and I appreciate that because you're awesome. And thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for all that you do for the channel. Also, I'm going to close this because this is frustrating. But I want to take a quick second. I know we're running late, and I'm going to let Trooper make his way out of here. But I want to say thank you to everyone who made this happen, who let this happen, who allowed us to do this weird two-person RPG with lights and costumes and hats and makeup and over the course. Oh my God, that you nailed that. Over the course of the last few weeks, we are so grateful here. This is some of the kind of things that we want to do with this channel, and one of the exciting things that I could say coming from this is you can't get rid of me. I'm on literally every show basically, so you can't get rid of me. However, guess what's coming to GeekSpaceTV? GM'd by I don't know where are you over where you're.
I'm to your other direction. Yes.
GM'd by
Trooper SJP! Thank you, everyone, for being here. I want to say how much I appreciate everyone coming in and watching this with us and being here for this very intense two-person RPG with myself, Trooper SJP, and also the amazing Drunkly Romantic over there.
I'm all right.
This has been GeekSpaceTV presents Cthulhu Confidential, The Fathomless Sleep by Pelgrane Press. And I am Trooper SJP, your humble GM. And over here we have...
Drunkly Romantic, your super sexy, awesome, humble player.
And thank you so much. I want to thank you for being here. Please come and watch the rest of the shows that are happening next week. We have on Monday...
A busy week.
Oh, busy week next week. Monday is the season opener of Eat, Pray, Kill. Tuesday is To the Point, A Manner of Speaking. And then Wednesday, I was like, is that right? No, that's right. And then Wednesday is the
High School Royale.
High School Royale. 7 o'clock, all 3 days. And those 3 shows have far less death and explosions.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I mean, less psychological torment.
Less psychological torment.
Maybe. Claudia's the GM of one of them, though, so maybe.
So, maybe. Maybe. Thank you so much for being here. And who knows? Maybe we'll see you again hanging out in our, Cthulhu confidential sorts of spaces. Take care of yourselves. Go have something lovely to drink, perhaps a glass of ginger ale. That's what I have. Go to sleep, take care of yourself, and we will see you next week on GeekSpaceTV. Thank you, everybody.
Bye.